A very pleasant good evening to you from Thunder Stadium on the campus of Desert Vista High School here in Ahwatukee, Arizona. Tonight we're bringing to you 6A conference football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside my broadcast partner Ed Cole on a very special evening here in Ahwatukee, Arizona, the home of the Desert Vista Thunder as they play host to the Corona del Sol Aztecs tonight. For the Aztecs, they'll be entering play with a record of 0-3 after a tough loss, losing 28-7 over the Red Mountain Lions last week. For Desert Vista, they'll enter with a record of 1-1 under first-year head coach Ty Wisdom. And for Desert Vista and all of the pomp and circumstance that surrounds tonight's game, it's all about the late, great Joe McDonald, Dr. Joe McDonald. They had a wonderful ceremony before kickoff tonight here as they dedicated the courtyard to Dr. Joe McDonald. I want to say, Ed, he was the second ever principal here at this school, and you think about the tenure and the longevity that Dr. Joe McDonald spent here mentoring and teaching and leading the way for this youth on this campus. Nothing but a blessing for this entire community here in Ahwatukee, Arizona.
It was amazing for this school, and as you mentioned, Katie, the community to have Dr. McDonald around here when he was here. It was just, as you mentioned, an absolute blessing for him to lead from an administrative standpoint, lead this school, lead every single one of these young men and young women that came through this school while he was the leader there. Under his leadership, everyone just grew. Every young man and every young woman were bettered, and became out better human beings because of Dr. McDonald and the service that he had here at Desert Vista High School.
You can't teach tenure. You can't teach passion. And no pun intended for Coach Ty Wisdom, you can't teach wisdom. You can certainly lead the way and show people the right way. And Dr. Joe McDonald did just that in so many different ways, not athletically only, but inside the classrooms. When you look around all of the other disciplines that they offer here at Desert Vista High School, in all of them, you could see the presence of Dr. Joe McDonald and what he meant to this program. Another guy that meant an awful lot, the honorary football coach, is Dan Hines. Dan Hines was the second head coach ever here at Desert Vista, and now it's Ty Wisdom's program. And for Ty Wisdom, he's the third ever coach for the Desert Vista Thunder. We spoke to Ty Wisdom before tonight's game, and he told me what an honor it is and what a privilege it is to be the head coach at Desert Vista. Such a storied, tradition-rich program that has championship prowess. They've got a body count here. They're out here in Ahwatukee, as we mentioned, southeast, if you will, and just below Pecos Road. So much growth out here. There's going to be more and more kids that are going to be coming to this program, and Ty Wisdom wants to lead that charge. And,
Kevin, we know this. Wins really do attract talent. The more wins you get, the more notoriety you get, the more that young men and young women, of course, with the women's sports, they would want to come here because they know that there's success here at Desert Vista High School. And, of course, that success really attracts that level of talent, and everyone would want to come here. So for Coach Wisdom, he's going to continue. This is his third game as the head coach. Of course, his first home game here as a head coach of the Desert Vista Thunder. And the sky is the limit for what Coach Wisdom was able to do at Horizon. Also, you were there years before that Ty Wisdom came along, so you know the history and the tradition that they had at Horizon, and now He brings that over here to Desert Vista with the Thunder.
And he left a really strong group of student athletes over at Horizon High School at 56th Street and Greenway. That's a small school. It's a postage stamp size piece of real estate there, and the growth through Horizon at 56th Street and Greenway has probably already run its course. There'll be a few kids that straggle through there from years to come, but the blue chip athletes are going to be heading out to the east and out to the larger schools around the great state of Arizona here. Let's turn our attention to the field as we pay more tribute to Mr. McDonald, and we'll turn things over to our PA announcer, Mr. Rick Odieski.
To all the programs here at DV, as he retires his #1 jersey, here at Desert Vista. As you know, folks, When a Jersey gets retired from a senior organization, it represents excellence in that individual. Is Dr. Joe. Tonight, please join me and former principals Dr. Annabella and Dr. Christine Lorella in presenting to the McDonald family the #1 jersey for Dr. Joe Scott.
The beginning was my hiring in '94, and they allowed me the opportunity to select my staff, and so I had a year to do that, as well as to try and maintain the unity of all the 8th graders at Akimal, so they would attend our school the following year. And those were the initial plans. And it worked out. It was something that it was a challenge, because obviously everybody wanted to go to an established high school. We were still a vision that people had to formulate their minds before we really sold them that Desert Vista would be something incredible. Our initial plans were to have a great school, but not just a great school, the best school. A school better than all the schools in the state of Arizona and any other state in this country. And that was our initial plan. And I think that because of the staff and the students and the parents bought into those ideals, we were able to move forward, and we did it with a sense of hope and determination, and it worked out. The name of our school derived from a committee of parents, students, and teachers. And we came up with a whole bunch of different names and presented them to the board. And from that exercise came the name Desert Vista, which was a beautiful name based on the location and in the state of Arizona and everything else. But we went through a little, I guess we'd call it harassment initially because there was another institution called Desert Vista. It was further out in Mesa, and it was an institution that was designed for troubled students. But we kept the name, and we decided to move forward and become so well known in what our intentions were that people would buy into it from a positive perspective, and they did. The kids, we allowed the kids to select the mascot. The 8th graders, because we're recruiting, obviously, right? And we allowed the 8th graders to select the mascot, to select all the things that they thought were good and positive about our school. And now they came up with the mascot of a horse. Where that came from initially, I don't know, but a lot of the kids wanted it, and they've voted on it, and that's what they settled on. And what do we want to call the horse? We want to call it Thunder. And so, Thunder, I guess that's where the lightning bolt came from. I think they still have that around here, right? All of that was an exercise of fun and involvement and buy-in. It was all tied to the movie Rudy. At the time, the movie Rudy was out, and it was a very positive and very good movie about a great institution in Notre Dame. And the philosophy from the movie was you never quit. You try hard, you work hard, you give all you got, and you be the best of what you can be.
And we are underway here from Thunder Stadium on the campus of Desert Vista High School in Ahwatukee, Arizona. It's the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. And our first kick of the contest, Karsten Kiefer, a touchback. And this is where Desert Vista will go to work here. At quarterback for the Thunder will be junior Jackson Akins. Akins, 6'1", 185-pounder. Works in an empty set with 3 wide receivers to the near side. Play fake to the action man. They throw over the middle of the field. The ball's caught around the 30-yard line. Shaking tacklers at the 35. Up ahead to the 38-yard line, maybe the 39-yard line, is the wide receiver. Making the reception for Desert Vista was number 5, Michael Allison. Working out of the Z tonight, one of those starters, 5'10", 180. That was a beautiful throw. Nice pitch and catch right there for Jackson Akins to Michael Allison. First play of the ball game is good for positive yardage.
Akins to Allison because of that strong offensive line, giving Akins that kind of time to sit back there and find number 5 and make that completion.
Gain of 18 yards, first run of the game. The starting tailback here for Desert Vista, it should be all-region performer Devin Grubbs, and he is their bell cow coming off a incredible game last week, scoring 5 touchdowns in the impressive 45-7 victory over the Mesa Jackrabbits. And Chad DeGrenier's club took it on the chin last week, but Devin Grubbs, 17 totes, 176, and count them up, 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns, yeah, that is a nice place to be in the end zone.
Yeah, to go along with 38 rushes for 371 yards. So, yes, he is their main focal point from a running game standpoint for the Thunder, Devin Grubbs.
You got to love that size. 6 foot, almost 200 pounds. He gets the call again here up the middle. And as Ed pointed out on the last play, working right behind the center and that right guard there. Excellent work by the fellows up front. In fact, the center is Aiden Micus. Micus, 6'1", 245. He's a senior, and he'll be joined by the left tackle is Jai Rodriguez, a 6A Central honorable mention player. He's also an all-region second teamer in the long snapping category. The left guard is Carson Ruthier. The right guard is David Nation, and the right tackle is Elijah Baker. Those guys will be huge participants in tonight's success for Desert Vista if they do indeed have success 1-1 on this campaign. They run a end around to the far sideline with some speed and a big-time burst is Mekhi Hibbler. Hibbler, 5'11", 170, got around that corner, turned the corner, and then turned on the Jets' Ed as he scooted up down that sideline there before Corona del Sol could knock him out of bounds.
Great run by Hibbler, but also great blocking up front by 7'7" David Nation, the right guard, and number 78 Elijah Baker, the right tackle, allowing Hibbler to get that kind of space, get that separation from the would-be tacklers, those defensive ends and those cornerbacks that were trying to come up and get Hibbler. Hibbler got those yards because of his talent and because of his offensive line.
Yeah, and that speed doesn't hurt either. A gain of 11 unofficially. So they'll go back to work. This will be Akins and a pistol. To his left is Mr. Devin Grubbs. Back to throw. Three-step drop. Fires near side. Ball is caught and then getting drilled immediately. Outstanding tackle defensively for Corona del Sol. That's Jeff Lambert, one of their leading tacklers. Nice reception there. Good hands there as he got belted for Desert Vista. That was their, looked like their tight end there.
Yeah, that was number 32, Kevin Hayden Engel, their tight end. 6'2", 225. He's a senior.
Where do we have that here?
Right there.
Here it is.
There he is.
How about it? Hayden Engel right there on the roster, right exactly where you'd expect him to be.
Right in front of you, yeah.
Gain of just one. Glorious Arizona night, kickoff time right near 93 degrees here in Ahwatukee. It's Desert Vista working right to left. Little shovel pass underneath with some space and room to roam. Nice job right there by Victor Sosa. Victor Sosa, 6'2", 179, took that shovel pass from the junior quarterback Jackson Akins, and boy, he had some space there and did a nice little run there after the catch there, Ed.
And the great thing is Devin Grubbs ran out there in motion because so you know as a defensive player, you've got to account for number one, and that allowed Sosa to get there to get that shovel pass from Akins.
They go back to Grubbs working behind the left guard this time. Grubbs again with that huge game. Ed gave you his statistics for the season, just 2 games, 38 carries, 371, and the 6 touchdowns. Just remarkable, but he is their bell cow. He's a tough kid. He's been playing on the varsity for 4 years now. His brother Tyson is playing at Northern Arizona University. He's a lumberjack. And for this Ty Wisdom-led football team, they give it up again to the outside. That's Mekhi Hibbler. Hibbler bobs and weaves, and Hibbler's going to take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Mekhi Hibbler off that jet sweep, zigzagging around the defense, and finally took it in the end zone. But let's see if they put him up here. There is some speculation to believe that Corona del Sol took the football away, and we'll see what the call is. We don't see any official putting him up as if Hibbler scored. Ed, what'd you see there?
I'm just trying to see what's going on right here. From my vantage point, I thought that Hibbler scored. It looks like that Desert Vista is bringing out their special teams.
I think there's a turnover, Ed. There's somewhere along the line.
Okay.
Mekhi Hibbler had the ball stripped from him, and now Corona del Sol.
Oh, you're right.
Probably recover that ball in the end zone, and that's why they're going to bring it out to the 20-yard line. So holy smokes, a big-time play there. As the Midnight Blue and Vegas Gold, the Desert Vista Thunder, commit an infraction here. It's a turnover, and Corona del Sol see if they can't cash in here on the early gratuitous opportunity here for John Bechtold's group.
Wow, Kevin, what a golden opportunity that the Thunder blew on that one, giving that turnover right there.
And now we're going to get a stop and play as Coach Bechtold will take a timeout here. 8:25 to go in a scoreless ball game here on the Epic Sports Network, and there has been all kinds of zany activity here. So we'll continue to work on that, but from what our speculation is here up top at the 50-yard line, just below the press box, is that Mekhi Hibbler fumbled the ball into the end zone, and Corona del Sol recovered it in the end zone. And that is why we're ready to begin play here at the 20-yard line. But interesting for Corona del Sol to have to take a timeout right after that exchange there. They get the takeaway, but then they have to burn a timeout here in the early going, Ed.
Yeah, it's really tough that you do have to burn that timeout. You should have had your play call set and ready to go. But, yeah, they may miss losing that timeout, but let's see if that does not play in Corona's non-favor.
So Connor Ackerley is the starting quarterback. He's just a sophomore. He'll be under center. He'll wear number 10. Behind him will be Jovan Gomez, the lead tailback here. And he's the lead tailback because Jonathan Kubat has been concussed. He got concussed against the Red Mountain Mountain Lions in that 28-7 loss last week. So they'll use the services of Jovan Gomez, and you'll also see Jalen Walker quite a bit in that backfield. And Corona del Sol, too, Ed, just like Desert Vista, they got a pretty impressive guy up front.
Yes, they do. They've got a really good offensive line. Connor Ackerley, as we talked to Coach John Bechtold, he is progressing very well at the quarterback position. So Coach Bechtold is happy with number 10.
This will be Connor Ackley calling his own number to the 30, 35, and he's going to get dropped right there. Outstanding open field tackle there by Tavian Dennis. The safety came up there and just ripped down Connor Ackley, and John Bechtold had told us before the ball game that each and every week the sophomore quarterback Connor Ackley has improved his game and he's gotten better, and the confidence is growing as well. And of course, right behind him is Crew Swearingen. He's the JV starter, the backup here too, but he's the younger brother of Quade Swearingen, a guy that led them, the Corona del Sol team, to an 8-0 season last year.
When you're a head coach, if you're Coach John Bechtold, of course you want your sophomore quarterback, you want Ackerley to continue to grow and progress under your system, as number 10 is, according to Coach Bechtold, what he told us.
Jalen Walker goes in motion there out of the pistol. It's Ackley. Behind him, it's going to be Gomez. Gomez gets the carry, and Gomez working just outside the hash mark and inside the numbers there. Got dropped after a 2-yard gain, maybe 3 with the spot. They put it down on the 38-yard line. That'll bring up a 2nd and 7 here in quarter number 1. Inside 7 minutes to go in a scoreless ball game here at Thunder Stadium in Desert Vista High School on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. I'm Kevin Derrybear alongside Ed Cole. Breaking the huddle and lining up to the slot is the Aztecs' Peyton Bauer. Ackley to the run game again. The ball's loose. It's fumbled, and it's picked up by the Thunder. Recovering the fumble for Desert Vista was Ryan Acevo. Acevo picking up that ball, and now we've got a turnover for each team here. Both fumbles.
Wow, that's crazy. What a crazy way for both of these teams to start off with promising drives, and they turn the ball over. Both of those head coaches, Coach Wisdom and Coach Bechtold, have got to be like, okay, fellas, this is not the way we wanted to start off either one of our games, turning the ball over. So they have to go back to the drawing board when it comes to ball protection, protecting the ball, Kevin.
That's exactly right. Ball security is key for everybody that plays football, whether it's Thursday night or Friday night or you're playing on Saturday. It does not matter. You better secure the rock. Movement by the 4 down linemen for Corona del Sol. They run it up the middle to Grubbs, and a nice play fake there by Jackson Akins, continuing to sell out with the fake throw there. But it's Grubbs again up the middle here, and they're going to call on number 1, Devin Grubbs, an awful lot, as he is playing in his 24th game here as a varsity player here tonight.
So he has got clearly the experience. Is that what you're telling me?
An all-region performer, yeah, 4-year varsity starter. He is definitely their veteran and their leader on this team. Breaking out to the right side, there is Makai Hibbler. In the slot to his left is Michael Allison. To the near side looks like Derek Evans. And instead of Derek Evans, it's actually Eric Miller, a wide receiver, getting the start. 6'1", 175 on a 26-yard reception on the campaign. 5:35 to go in this opening quarter. Still no score. Ball spotted on the 22-yard line of the Aztecs here, and we're going to get the officials to stop the clock here. So they're going to reset the game clock here, and that's what that last conversation was all about. They want to put 5:39 on the Longview scoreboard, and they do just that. So for Akins, he'll be facing a 3rd and 8 on the Aztec 21-yard line. Empty set for Akins. Looks over the middle of the field. Throws down the middle of the field. The ball is dropped. The ball was dropped by Makai Hibbler. He had a touchdown pass and a touchdown reception waiting in his arms and just couldn't bring that football in there. That was a nicely thrown ball. Good zip on that. And what a tight spiral. That was an outstanding pass. Just couldn't haul it in.
Everything you said, KD, I agree with. That's a catch that Makai Hibbler should have made. Boy, it's been kind of a tough sledding for him. 2 drives. He fumbles the ball on the first drive, and he drops a would-be touchdown on this very second drive. So potentially Desert Vista could have been up at least 14 points. But it's not the fact. And number 3, Noah Perez, comes out to kick a field goal.
That's a 39-yard attempt. The snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is on its way, and the kick is good. Noah Perez, just inside the right upright, drills the 39-yard field goal to draw the scoring here. They draw the first blood, and it's now 3-0 Thunder at the 5:33 mark of this opening quarter. And good defense by Corona del Sol on their heels a couple times here, Ed, and they were able to stand tall and answer the challenge.
If that's what you want your defense to continue to fight and try to deny the Thunder as much as possible and force a field goal. So luckily for the Aztecs, their defense, they did not get that touchdown from Mekhi Hibbler. Otherwise, they would have put them up 7-0. But giving up a field goal, that's a moral victory of sorts for them.
Yeah, it was just a nice job there. Coach Bechtold, the long tenure at Washington High School. One of his better friends, another coach around the circuit, Carlos Artis, one-time ASU Sun Devil. Desert Vista scores first here. They break the ice, as they say. 3-0 on a really nice kick there by Noah Perez. Gets the first three. And so back deep now for the Aztecs will be Mr. Vesey. Check that. That's Peter Katsaris. Katsaris is back deep. And the ball is going to go away from Katsaris. It'll be Owen Jansen from his own 3. Jansen to the 15-20 with a crease. Into the open area at the 40. 45, midfield 50. Cuts back, and he's going to be brought down from behind on a great special teams tackle made there by the Thunder. Hustling down to make that play was Boston Hall on a great return by Owen Jansen, and most of this yardage is coming back. Tough break here and a tough way to start this game for Johnny Bechtold and the Corona del Sol Aztecs as they get a great return by Owen Jansen, only to have it called back to a holding call.
Yeah, that really is tough, Kevin. Owen Jansen, what a phenomenal run back there on special teams. That's what you want from your special teams. You want them to have plays like that to set you up in really great field position offensively, but unfortunately, as you mentioned, a holding penalty wipes out what Owen Jansen had, which was a phenomenal run back. Great run back by Jansen, but doesn't count.
And a great special teams tackle there, too. And they're going to negate the tackle by Boston Hall as well. So everybody comes up a little bit short on this one here. It's still 3-0 here from Thunder Stadium here at Desert Vista as this place is rocking. The fan base and the stands are moving around a little bit here on what is really kind of a calm evening here. It's a bit hot and it's sticky out here. It's a little bit muggy. So Corona del Sol will begin this drive trailing by 3 from their own 10-yard line with a sophomore quarterback in Connor Ackley. It'll be Ackley under center this time. The turn, a play action pass. He wants to go. He throws down the middle of the field and the ball is in and out of the hands and maybe intercepted, and it was dropped. Boy, nice ball again to the big guy. This was Peyton Bauer of the tight end, 6'5", 225. That's a pretty good target to throw to, Ed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a catch. Another one of those should have been caught balls by Peyton Bauer. Really good throw by Ackley to Bauer. That would have clearly easily got them the first down, but that's just one of those plays that they would love to have back. They would love to have that completion to keep those chains moving and go and keep the drive going.
The defender was draped on Bauer just a little bit. He might have had something to do with that. Here comes a run blitz, and they run it right up the middle. And the Thunder defense there to stand tall. Very robust here early on. No running lanes at all for the Aztecs. And one of the guys leading the charge up front for the Thunder was Tavian Dennis, his second tackle of the contest.
Dennis was in there, Kevin. Also, Antonio Petro Delgado, their middle linebacker. He was in there on the tackle.
They've got a strong Mike Backer, to say the least, at Desert Vista. So this will bring up a 3rd down and 8 possession play here for the Aztecs, wearing their burnt orange helmets with their white uniforms trimmed in orange. 3 down linemen here for the Thunder. Ackley back to Phil from the pocket. Has all kinds of time. He's flushed out now. He throws on the run, and the ball's going to be batted down and incomplete. Great defensive play on the far side by the Thunder. Once again, it's Tavian Dennis. Give him a pass breakup. He's made 2 consecutive plays, and he'll force the Aztecs into a punting situation here, backed up deep inside their own 20-yard line.
Great coverage by the secondary of the Thunder, forcing that incompletion right there.
Tavian Dennis has been having himself quite a first quarter, and Mekhi Hibbler also having himself quite a first quarter. Hibbler has proven to be the most electrifying player on the field here with nothing to show for it. Punt formation here for the Aztecs. Great punt with some good hang time. Angles towards Hibbler. They'll let it go, and the Aztecs will just down it around the 45-yard line. Let's see where they put the ball in play, but great work there by the Aztec special teams group. You just got to try to do what you can to flip the field, Ed.
Yeah. So far, I like what I'm seeing from Connor Ackerley. He's getting his protection from his offensive line. He throws a really good ball, Kevin, but you've got to also give props to the Thunder secondary and that front they have right there, those Mike linebackers and their and the defensive front for putting that pressure on Ackerley. So they're able to get there and affect what he's able to do, even though he's able to throw a really good ball. Give credit to that secondary for breaking up all those passes, all those would-be passes from a really good throwing quarterback in Connor Ackerley.
Back on the field is Jackson Akins along with Devin Grubbs. So Grubbs will set up shop to the right of Akins. Grubbs gets the call here. Stiffs arms one tackler to the wide side. Turns the corner up the numbers at the 40. And he'll be brought down around the 35-yard line. Great run there, and you got to like the toughness there by Devin Grubbs, that stiff arm to give him some separation, and then he finds the edge and finishes that run.
And he actually shoved off number 25, Jeff Lambert, a man that came into this game with 17 tackles, 12 solo tackles. He's used to bringing down guys like that in those one-on-one situations, those 50-50 tackles, if you will.
Yeah, that's an outstanding play. That's a gain of 8 for Mr. Devin Grubbs. Akins back to throw under a blitz. He throws, and the ball is incomplete. Great defense there on the near side by Kevon Thomas. Intended target, Mekhi Hibbler. Hibbler was open once again, and I think in this case you're going to have to credit Kevon Thomas for making that play. Great coverage there, as once again Hibbler finding some separation.
Yeah, we're seeing some really good coverage from both teams, right, from their secondary.
Yeah.
These corners and safeties, they're playing really well so far, covering these wide receivers, making it hard for these respective quarterbacks to complete passes to their guys.
For Desert Vista, they've outscored the opposition early on in this young season, 73-42. And this is Ty Wisdom in his first year. We mentioned on the outset of the broadcast, he came from Horizon, long-time tenure there, and here he is in the first year at Desert Vista, only the third coach in the program's history here. Of course, Mr. Rattay led that program back in, I want to say, 1996, did this program start. They were founded in 1996, was Desert Vista. Jim Rattay was the head coach. In fact, I want to say that Coach Rattay is sitting on 299 career wins. 299. One more, and he would have 300. You'd think he'd like to go and get that somewhere along the way, get hired and get a job and go get that 300th win. I always kind of felt like he's been jobbed with that on that. But then Dan Hines, also a longtime coach. So it's been Mr. Rattay and then Dan Hines and now Ty Wisdom. So it's 3rd and 7 now here for the Thunder. Akins on the rollout to the far side. He throws on the run. Good zip down the ball, and the ball's caught by Hibbler. Hibbler splits the defense, running on the numbers, and bringing tacklers with him. Mekhi Hibbler once again on the reception. Excellent defense there to maybe save a touchdown, but Mekhi Hibbler was wide open, and that delivery of the football was right on time and right on target.
As excellent as you say that defense was to stop Hibbler from getting that touchdown, as excellent, you talk about the excellent offensive line play that allowed Akins to have that time to roll out to his right and find Hibbler and make that completion.
Gain of 30. Jackson Akins to Mekhi Hibbler. Now they go to the run game again, and who else? It's Devin Grubbs working on the right side, working behind David Nation. And we talked about number 77, David Nation. Coach Wisdom told me he might be the most underrated player he has on his squad right now. He's unsung, and that before it's all said and done, that David Nation is going to have plenty of college opportunities here when the time is right. 3-0. Thunder with the lead. They're threatening once again. Ball inside the green zone now. Ball's on the 5-yard line here. And then we're going to get another penalty here. So
False
penalties
start.
have kind of been a little bit of a challenge here. It cost big yardage for Corona del Sol, and now it's costing Desert Vista some yardage here. However, they're in pretty good position here in the red zone. They were in the green zone. Now they're going to work from the 10-yard line here. 2nd and goal to go from the 10.
And Kevin, I'm not telling you anything you don't know about them them keeping those penalties to a minimum, especially this far down in the green zone. When they're on the 10-yard line, they're this close to scoring. They've got to be able to keep their wits about themselves and not have penalties.
This will be Akins on a quarterback keep. Akins will take a couple of tacklers with him inside the 10-yard line. They'll spill him at the 8. Nice job of defending there. That was a zone read, and Akins called number 11. He called the zone number and showed some toughness right there as they dumped him to the ground with a little authority right there. He paid for that one. Gain of 2. 3rd down and goal here from the 8-yard line.
Kevin, you got some big fellas up front on the defensive line for the Aztecs. You've got Evan Lenz, who also plays offensive line there, right guard. Also Theron White, who plays center for them. He's also one of those defensive linemen, some really big guys that Akins is trying to run through. That's why it was so hard for him to get yards. Those guys love to shut off those running lanes for them.
Mekhi Hibbler to the slot to the right. They set up a screen, and the ball is caught, but by Grubbs on the far sideline. And again, good discipline for the interior lineman of Corona del Sol to stay at home. I believe the player that made the tackle on that lost his helmet on the play. And of course, he ducks out behind his teammates. We couldn't get you the information, but it was a great play there by Corona del Sol to prevent a touchdown. Now it'll be 4th down and goal here. Decision time here for Ty Wisdom and the Thunder. Playing at home, it's 3-0, 1:41 to go in the contest. And it'll be Jackson Akins at quarterback. To his right is Devin Grubbs. 2 wide receivers to the right. Rolling to the right is Akins. He wants to throw back, and there's a wide open receiver making the catch for a touchdown. For the Thunder was Hayden Engel. So Jackson Akins to Hayden Engel from 4 yards away, and that's going to be a Thunder touchdown.
See, and that's the great thing about quarterbacks that roll out like that, is we're going to see right here on the replay as Akins takes the shotgun snap. He rolls out to his right, and then he looks back, throws against his body, and he sees a wide open Hayden Engel who gets separation from those defenders that were trying to cover him. Big guy, 6'2", 225, the senior tight end who gets free. Great pitch and catch, as we always talk about, Atkins to Engel.
Now we got a bot snap, and now there's going to be a lot of organized chaos as Noah Perez is trying to somehow, the cavalry has just come in here. The student body for Desert Vista, it is loaded to the gills here to my right, and they have all now starting to travel right in front of us here, and there must be 100 kids that have just come in here. So kudos to the administration here at Desert Vista and the fact that on a Thursday night, still a study night, these kids are out here supporting this program, and that's just great to see, considering we've dealt with so much in our globe the last year and a half with the pandemic and whatnot. We're just getting tired of talking about it, but it's great to see these people out here, Ed.
Absolutely. Good to see the kids come out here and support their hometown football team. They haven't played a game here in a while. This is the home opener for Desert Vista, so they're coming out here to support their guys. Great to see that.
1:37 to go. It's 9-0 on the 4-yard touchdown pass from Jackson Akins, his 4th touchdown pass of the season. This one went to Hayden Engel, his 1st touchdown reception of the year, and it's 9-0 on the botched extra point. So we got to be careful of our equipment here. So back to work. It's Desert Vista. It'll be Perez from his own 40. He'll pooch it high into the night sky, and that's a live ball, and it looks like Desert Vista is going to come away with a football. Riley McDevitt on the onside kick. It was really just a kind of a pooch kick. High end over end kick without any distance to it, and hustling down the field on special teams was McDevitt, and he picked it up off on the fly, and that's going to be the Thunder football here as they are working on a 9-0 lead, and now they get the football right back.
Kevin, give McDevitt so much credit for running down there, just hustling down there, seeing that that was going to be a live ball, that nobody from Corona del Sol was really going to go after it. None of the Aztecs special teams players was going to go after it. So he said, you know what, I'll go after it. If you guys don't want it, you don't want it as bad as I do, I'm going to take it from you.
Made a nice play right there. Splitting out to the far side now for Desert Vista is wide receiver Victor Sosa. He's got, Akins has 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. This is a run to Mekhi Butler, and Butler's going to get drilled from behind. Making the tackle from behind with a little bit of sizzle on it was Jalen Walker, picking up his another tackle. It's his 7th tackle of the season, but Jalen Walker there with a lot of hustle, chasing that play from behind it, and was able to get the very wiry Mekhi Hibbler, and Hibbler is doing a great job of avoiding the defense. He is just tough to bring down. Akins on the move after that 8-yard play. They go up the middle to Grubbs. Grubbs breaking tackles, running at an angle towards the 10, and he's finally going to be dropped inside the 10-yard line. They'll put it down on the 8-yard line. Nice run there as he was cutting it back by Mr. Devin Grubbs. You can see why the scouts and the college coaches like this young man.
Yes, sir. His cutback ability and his ability to get in between that center and that right guard and find those lanes and find those holes and determine where he wants to go. His vision is absolutely outstanding, and you saw it right there on that running play.
First and goal to go from the 9-yard line. Akins takes the snap. He throws it over the middle of the field. The ball's going to be caught for a touchdown. Touchdown number 2 by Hayden Engel. And for Akins, his second touchdown pass of this contest. And for Akins now with 5 TD passes on the year. And right now, the Corona del Sol Aztecs are in a little bit of a trouble here. They just can't get out of their own way right now, and they're giving up too many free chances here.
Yeah, just like how wide open Engel was. There was nobody to chip him or cover him right there. So as soon as the snap was, Engel just ran straight. It was about as easy a touchdown as you're going to get it if you're number 32, the tight end for the Thunder.
The nearest defender for the Aztecs was Kevon Thomas, and as Ed pointed out, he wasn't even 3 yards away from Hayden Engel. So how about Hayden Engel? He's got 2 catches for 2 touchdowns. 2 catches for 13 yards. And 2 TDs for Hayden Engel. Have a night for the tight end. Also does part-time duty playing linebacker. 6'2", 225, and he looks like he is a offensive weapon, to say the least.
Yeah. He is developing into that weapon, and he plays so well at that Sam linebacker spot as well. One of those guys that plays double duty, and he plays it at a high level.
So the ball will be spotted on the, looks like the 2-yard line. And this is where Desert Vista will try to go for 2. They'll give it up to Grubbs in the middle, and Grubbs is going to drive towards the goal line, and I believe he's going to break the plane at the goal line for a 2-point conversion. Devin Grubbs gets the 2-pointer. 35.9 seconds remain in the opening quarter. Our new score, Desert Vista 17, and the Aztecs from Corona del Sol 0. And you talk about Ty Wisdom's team taking advantage of the turnovers and that onside kick. They've done just that here early on, Ed.
That was just power running there by Devin Grubbs, straight up the middle. Matt Orthman, one of the defensive linemen, he's a 6'3", 250-pound junior. He couldn't stop Devin Grubbs as he was determined to get into the end zone for those 2 points, and that's exactly what number 1 did.
Yeah, David Nation, Elijah Baker paving the way on the right side. So it's 17-0 after the made point after on the 2-pointer by Devin Grubbs. I was thinking we're going to give Noah Perez another point after try, but it was Noah Perez setting that drive up with the onside kick and the tremendous hustle running downfield there by Riley McDevitt. And that's where we are now, 17-0. So Corona del Sol now in their 44th year, looking down the barrel of a double-barrel shotgun, trailing 17-0. And they're going to have to ask Connor Ackley to make some plays down the field. They want to get back in this ball game. This should be Jansen from his own 2. Jansen angles across to the 15 to the 20, cuts inside at midfield and in the middle of the field, if you will, and he's going to get dropped. For Desert Vista in the vicinity was Gavin Chavez. Also, it seemed like Ian Jimenez was also there special teams-wise. So for Connor Ackley, down by a touchdown, 2 touchdowns and a field goal here, will get the football at the 24-yard line, their own 24-yard line with 28.8 seconds to go. They need to start making some plays here and making some headway, trailing in this ball game. Owen Jansen to the slot to the left. Ackley will have 1 back to his right. This will be Ackley on the design run to the edge, steps out of bounds, and nothing else after that. Nice defense there by the Thunder. It looked as though that Sebastian Perez was one of those guys on the hustle, chasing down Connor Ackley, EC.
Sebastian Perez, also Mekhi Toms, number 39, the cornerback, was also there to try to run after Connor Ackley. He was one of the guys that fronted him and forced him out of bounds.
Lots of dudes named Mekhi. Great name. You got Mekhi Stuber over at Dobson. A couple of Mekhi's here in this ball game. You got Mekhi Beckton of the New York Jets out of Louisville. Ackley back to throw, looking left. Here comes the pressure. And right now, Ackley on his feet. Great block there. Ackley's going to stop. And finally, he's going to get grabbed and brought down around the 5-yard line. So Ackley gets sacked, but not before there was a tremendous block behind there to protect Connor Ackley. And that was a clean block, too. And you heard the oohs and ahs here from Thunder High School at Thunder Stadium. That was a vicious block there. As we take a look at it one more time, Ackley just looking for anything he can. He got a great block by the Aztecs.
Kevin, that was number 64.
White.
Yep, their center, Theron White, was the one that pancaked him, absolutely destroyed Fisher Hawks.
Tyron White, an all-region performer, 26 tackles a year ago, 5 tackles for a loss, and 3.5 sacks. But this year, he's already got 20 tackles, but it was a great block there. He's a tremendous offensive lineman. He's an all-region performer at the offensive line position, and you saw a little snippet of why he's so good right there.
Yes, he was like, I'm not letting my quarterback get taken down by Hawks, so I'm going to go ahead and knock out 34 right there and give my quarterback a little bit more life.
That right now is our pit boss play of the game, if you ask me. It's early, but that was absolutely tremendous. So Ackley back to work now. Ball is spotted on the 10-yard line. It'll be second down and a country mile. Looks like second and 24 yards here, actually. They need to get to the 34-yard line to move the chains here, and I'm not sure what the discussion is here with our officiating team. So the officials are trying to get together here. Perhaps they're trying to reset the game clock. It's 17-0. There are 9 seconds showing. And now they want to get the down and distance correct. So it's third down and a country mile. Again, the line to gain is the 34-yard line for Connor Ackley. Empty set for him. He's got 5 wide receivers in. Ackley from his own end zone. The ball is going to be batted down the line of scrimmage. In there on the pass rush was Hayden Angle. And I believe that Hayden Angle also blocked that ball. It's after our first 12 minutes here from Thunder Stadium at Desert Vista High School. Our score, Desert Vista 17, Corona del Sol 0. You are watching Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network.
America, I'm a roll. Our Cup Series. I like to think of myself as a fun-loving guy. I have a wife and 2 beautiful children. I've really enjoyed the partnership that I've had with Pit Boss, and that it's still very new and very fresh, but it just feels so authentic. It feels so real, so just easy and down to earth, and I just really enjoy that.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
You ready? Welcome back to Thunder Stadium from Desert Vista High School here in Ahwatukee on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Eddie Cole, my broadcast partner. It'll be a punting situation here for Corona del Sol. Back on his own end zone line appears to be Malcolm Flynn. Flynn with a 34-yard average. Back deep is that playmaker, Mekhi Hibbler, from his own 40. And it'll be a fair catch there by Mekhi Hibbler. He lets it go over him, and the ball will take a big-time bounce here for Corona del Sol. Malcolm Flynn gets the gratuitous bounce, and that's going to help his punting average right there. I just mentioned it was 34, and this is going to be spotted on the 49-yard line of Desert Vista, and that is a fantastic punt.
It is, and that'll really help out his net.
Unofficially a 49-yarder. So back to work is Jackson Akins with a 17-0 lead. Devin Grubbs with a 2-point conversion, but it's been the 2 touchdown passes to Hayden Angle have been the difference in this contest. 3 wide receivers on the field now, 1 to the left, 2 to the right. This will be a run to the sweep. It'll be Grubbs, and Grubbs is going to get grabbed as he crossed midfield. Tackling Mr. Grubbs from the Aztecs was Keona Pete. Pete, 6'4", 260, in a long line of Pete brothers. His brother Andrews, starring now and playing for the New Orleans Saints on Sundays in the National Football League.
Been a long time New Orleans Saint, hasn't he? He's played really well for them.
It's been okay. He's getting paid to play on Sundays.
Yes.
You got to love that. Mekhi Hubler will check into the slot to the right of Jackson Akins. He has Grubbs to his right now. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. And now Grubbs will move to the left side of Jackson Akins. There goes Hibbler in motion. Hibbler gets the call. Hibbler bouncing off people. First down yardage with space. And finally, running on the numbers into that second level goes Mekhi Hibbler. And boy, is he has got a burst. I mean, we talk about acceleration and quicks and all that, but Hibbler has that really smooth acceleration where he's going from 0 to 60 in about 4.2 seconds there.
And it doesn't seem like he's going that fast, but when he takes off and he's shedding tacklers, number 47, Nathan Cormier-Ward, their number 1 tackler for the Aztecs, could not bring down Hibbler. That shows you the strength and the power that Hibbler has from a running standpoint.
Jeff Lambert got the tackle there on Hibbler. First down yardage. This is going to be a play fake. And down the middle of the field, it's on the far side there, wide open, was Desert Vista's Eric Miller. And Jackson Akins, my partner Ed always likes to say he'd like to have that one back. Ed, there's the one that he'd like to have back right there because he had a wide open receiver, and I mean wide open about 6 or 7 yards. You talk about some space between you and the defender, and it was all Eric Miller. Great route, great execution, just couldn't get the football in his hands.
Yeah, just plain and simple. Akins overthrew Miller. He had that great protection. He stood back there, and he saw Miller. I guess maybe he just got a little bit too excited, and he just put a little bit too much mustard on that ball, but it was a great throw, but unfortunately, Miller tried to extend and dive out there to catch the ball, but he wasn't that strong in extending his body to make that catch.
Looks like Ty Wisdom wants to talk things over at the 10:32 mark of quarter number 2. You know, Desert Vista, we talked about their colors in the first quarter, the midnight blue and the Vegas gold. Just think about that, Ed. The Vegas gold. It reeks of authority, and that's awesome. I love that gold color. They got the gold helmets. Their colors pop. It's great contrast with their football field. A brand new synthetic turf out here. And as you mentioned, it's the inaugural game for Ty Wisdom to be playing here at home against Corona del Sol. Really, it's an Ahwatukee rival. 8 miles or less separate these two programs here. Coach Beck told us about the ride home should they lose, what a shorty it would be, and there would be no stopping anywhere on this ride home.
That's right. No stopping at Firehouse. No stops anywhere.
From what we gather, a lot of people make their go-to out here in the Tuke is Firehouse Subs right there off Chandler Boulevard. At least that was our go-to today, wasn't it? All right, Akins back to work. He's going to put it in the hands of Grubbs, and Grubbs continues to rumble down the field. Grubbs started running this way. He was running right at us laterally and then turned the corner right there on the first hash marks. And it was good defense again by the Aztecs, just kind of riding on and hanging on for dear life there when it comes to Devin Grubbs.
Yeah, basically they're just following Grubbs. Jeff Lambert, number 25, Keona Pete, number 54. They just continue to follow Devin Grubbs, and they stay within their lanes. They didn't over-pursue. They didn't try to do more than they were tasked to do when they were trying to bring down Devin Grubbs. Just really good coverage there from a defensive standpoint to bring down number 1.
And look out here. Here comes the playmaker, number 32, Hayden Engel. He has 2 touchdown receptions here in this one. He's the leading receiver for this club. They run it again, another sweep, and the Aztecs there waiting for it this time. Nice defense by their interior, staying home. On the sweep this time, it was Christian Clark. Clark, 5'11", 185. 6 carries for 16 yards and a touchdown on this young season here. In game number 3 for Desert Vista, this is the 4th game of the year for Corona del Sol. Akins is the quarterback. To his right is Christian Clark. Grubbs is not on the field for this play. To the near side, it's Eric Miller. Akins with the option. To the boundary and up the sideline. Working there was Christian Clark. Just a nice job there of running there. Good patience there. Little option right. And you get that kind of head of steam going, and it's easy to hit that first tackler, mow him over, and then the second and third guys come there and clean the play up.
Exactly, yeah.
But nice run there by Christian Clark. So this will be a 1st and 10, ball placed on a 14-yard line here. 8:47 to go till halftime. Working left to right are the Thunder from Desert Vista with a 17-0 lead. Shotgun snap is back. Akins is going to run it, spinning out of a tackle, and finally he's going to get dumped over. Lambert over there, one part of the tackling party here, and also involved in that was Tyron White. And Tyron White, I just like this guy's game. All region out of the 6A East Valley last season. Tyron White shows that he's got a lot of upside for his game, EC.
No question.
So 8:30 to go with the clock stop. So they are having some issues with the clock operator here at Thunder Stadium tonight. This will be like the third delay we've had to get the clock straightened out. As you kind of look back into the darkness of the press box and you say, what is the issue? Right?
Right.
We got a couple of buttons. It's a power on and a power off. So now the clock is rolling now. It went from 8:34 to 8:21. I don't know. They might be having some malfunctions. It's Akins back to throw. Throws left. The ball's going to be caught by the tailback, and he's going to angle towards the pylon, but come up short. And that looks like Christian Clark once again.
That was Victor Sosa.
Yeah, I beg your pardon there.
Number 24.
Victor Sosa, the wide receiver there. But you look at Clark and Sosa, and they look so close. The only thing that's different is the number. 24 versus 28.
Yeah.
So that's an indicator right there.
The 4 and the 8, yes.
This would be a 1st and goal to go from the 2-yard line here. Grubbs is checked in. He's to the left of Akins. It's Grubbs with the call here, and he's just going to walk into the end zone and score a touchdown. For Devin Grubbs, he takes it in to the end zone, and that'll be another touchdown for Devin Grubbs. He's got 8 of those on this young season now. 8:08 to go till halftime. It's now 23-0 Desert Vista on the strength of a 2-yard touchdown run by Devin Grubbs. Point after try upcoming here, and they will summons Noah Perez for this task out of a hold of Nicholas Lyons. The snap is back, the hole's down, the kick is on its way. It's a low line drive kick, and the kick is right through the uprights. It's good. 8:08 to go till halftime. It's 24-0 Desert Vista. You're watching Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Thunder Stadium on the campus of Desert Vista High School here in Ahwatukee, Arizona. Kevin Derryberry alongside Eddie Cole on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. And here comes Noah Perez once again. Back deep, it'll be Owen Jansen. Oh, man. I got screened off. And there he goes with the football for Corona del Sol. That is number 15, and he's going to go. Peter Katsaris, coast to coast to the end zone for the Corona del Sol touchdown. My, what a burst of speed from the right side of the football field on the numbers with a blistering hole up the middle, blazing speed across the field to the far sideline and then into the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, just straight up the middle. Number 15, as you mentioned, Peter Katsaris just gets that hole right there, and he's off to the races. The only other person that could have caught him was the kicker himself, but he was unable to do that. And number 15 just takes it right down the field. If there's a quick way that you want to get back into the game, if you're Corona del Sol, you get it on special teams on one play, and you got it there from Peter Katsaris.
And, hey, darn near broke it with Owen Jansen on the play prior that they called back to the hold. So Katsaris coast to coast for the touchdown for the Aztecs. and unofficially we'll say 95 yards to the end zone. Point after try is good. It's good. So the kick from the all-region kicker out of the East Valley, Karsten Kiefer, nails the point after try. And as Ed pointed out, how do you get back in a ball game? You're down 24-0 with big plays. And Peter Katsiris just answered the call right there with that 95-yard house call.
So you got some help from your special team. So now it's on their defense to get it back going right now. Let's see what Corona del Sol can do from a defensive standpoint to see if you can slow down Jackson Atkins and all of his weapons he's got on Desert Vista side.
Yeah, these two teams played in Game 1 last year that saw Corona del Sol win it handily. They won the ball game 28-0, and that was a very different Aztec football team. In fact, for Corona del Sol, they won that game against the Thunder last year, first week, 28-0. They would never lose again in the regular season. They would go 8-0 for John Bechtold. That is just fantastic. And, of course, for the first time ever for Dan Hines, the Thunder would go winless. That just doesn't happen either. Just absolutely an outlier of a season for Dan Hines and this football program here at Desert Vista.
Just a wacky way for that season to go for them, right, Kevin? With everything going on with COVID and you're dealing with all that with your young men trying to get your program started, and then on top of that you go 0-6. That's really tough.
That is indeed tough. Back deep is Mekhi Hibbler. And the Thunder players will watch this one go right over their heads and into the end zone. Mekhi Hibbler was staring down Christian Clark, and they both said, we're not going to go after that one. Great kick there by Karsten Kiefer. And again, you go back to special teams. If you're Karsten Kiefer, you were on the field for that kick, and it's no return. That's exactly what you're looking for if you're Johnny Bechtold. You want to eliminate any kind of big plays on the other side, and they got a great kick there by Karsten Kiefer to pin him back to the 20.
No question. So now who's going to be the people to step up on the Aztec side defensively? Is it going to be a guy like Jeff Lambert, number 25, or Tyron White, the guy that you love so much, who is playing so well? Is it Keona Pete? Who's going to step up defensively for the Aztecs to stop this Thunder offense?
Right now, Ed. It's Nathan Cormier Ward, former. He's their leading tackler. Mm-hmm. He's a good football player. He'll wear 47. Look for him to pick up his game here. Akins with a low snap. Fires to the near side. The ball is going to be caught by Victor Sosa. Good hands by Sosa as he turns up the field on the near boundary there. But for a big guy like that, for Sosa, 6'2", 179, showed soft hands as he corralled that football in, kind of low below his knees, but he just looks like a sure-handed player out there catching that ball.
Oh, yeah, no question. Akins just back there. He sees number 24 get open there in the flat, and he just throws it to him. As you mentioned, he's got that ability to reach low, catch that ball even if it's a little bit low, haul it in and get some yards and continue to keep the ball moving, continue to keep this drive started that's actually just started.
Mekhi Hibbler to the near side. He's going to get it on a fake screen here. Here comes the pressure, and Akins is going to go down. Nice job there by the Aztec defense. Up there to make the play was Tyron White. Give him a sack on the play. 4.5 sacks now for him in his career, but excellent pass rush there by the Aztecs.
We talked about Tyron White. Did I say he would be one of those players? Also, Keona Pete, two guys that I just talked about would have to step up defensively, and that's exactly what they did on that play to bring down Akins.
Nice call, Ed, and absolutely, you got those guys now. They're playing fired up, right? They're firing off on the ball. They feel good about that long touchdown run. They want to get back in this game. There's a lot of football to play here. 7:10 to go till halftime. It's 24-7. This is a 3rd and 10 from their own 20. Akins back to throw. Steps up into the pocket. Now he wants to run it. Akins on his feet. Has the first down and more, and he just dives forward for extra yardage there before that collision with Tristan Schaefer there. We get all kinds of whistles here, but there's a penalty marker back behind the play at the 20, and this one's going to come back. Preliminary indication is holding on the offense against Desert Vista. And if you're John Bechtold, knowing the result of that play was a first down scramble by Akins, you're going to push him back at least 10 more yards and live to play on one more time here.
Oh, man, what a killer for the Thunder, because that was a really good run by Akins. But it's all wiped out because of a holding penalty.
All negated, as they say. You can see 64 Tyron White down there right now. Tyron White, 6 foot, 265, playing the nose. Also, Keona Pete, Evan Lenz, an all-region second-teamer. He's another guy down there that's actually, they got 2 54s, Ed. One of those is Lenz. Akins, shotgun snap, screenplay to Hibbler, and he gets drilled. Nobody home this time. as the Aztecs were there waiting for it. Ryan Cook over there among others for Corona del Sol, and that's going to force a punting situation here. So John Bechtold's defense now gets a hold, if you will, Ed, after the big kick return.
It's amazing what happens, what a penalty can do to kill a drive, right? You get that holding penalty, and then you're backed up, and then Desert Vista has to try to compensate for that penalty, and then number 54 comes in and gets that tackle and forces a punting situation. Just amazing how a play can change on a penalty.
And hustling onto the field late here for Desert Vista was Jaden Humphrey. Punting situation here. Back deep is Owen Jansen. Line drive kick. Going back on it is Jansen from his own 47-yard line. Jansen's going to be tackled from behind. Great special teams tackle there by Gavin Chavez. Chavez on the special teams hunt down and tackle of Owen Jansen. And Owen Jansen, he too is tough to bring down in space, but Gavin Chavez made that look easy.
All about that pursuit. Number 22, Gavin Chavez, loved the way he ran after the ball, continued to run after number 11 because he knew what number 11 had the ball. That was his main goal, to bring down Owen Jansen. He would not be stopped. Great pursuit there by Chavez to bring down Jansen.
All right, what can Connor Ackley do now with his team trailing 24-7, 5:37 to go to the break here on this very special evening as we honor the late Dr. Joe McDonald here for Desert Vista. Longtime principal. They go to Ackley now. See a little blurb in there from Coach Coop. Man, I love Coach Coop.
Coop is awesome.
Out of Arizona Christian University.
Can't wait to see him on Saturday.
Ed and I will have all the action on the GSAC Sports Network on Saturday morning about 10:45. ACU and SAGU. More football tomorrow night as James Poovey and I will take the airwaves as Red Mountain will take on Westwood. But here tonight on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network, it's Corona del Sol and Desert Vista at center stage. Running left this time, taking a handoff from Connor Ackley is Corona's number 5 getting a carry here. Jovan Gomez, he started tonight for Johnny B's football team. Jonathan Kubat injured last week against Red Mountain. In fact, you thought about what happened last week for this Red Mountain football team and just what the Aztecs went up against. The Red Mountain D had 4 TFLs, 3 sacks, a fumble recovery, and just 10 points in 12 quarters. That's what Corona del Sol faced last week in Red Mountain. Ackley back to throw from his own 50, winds up, throws, the ball's incomplete. Looking for the target, Owen Jansen. He's the big play threat here for Corona, and that time with the coverage provided there by Adrian Morales. The misfire there by Connor Ackley. He does have a nice arm, and just missed the target there, and perhaps we can credit Adrian Morales for some of that misfire there with great defensive coverage, Ed.
Oh, yeah, you can give 25 credit for that. I see Ackley was trying to throw a little bit low because he saw that Morales was trying to cover him, so he was trying to throw it low where only Jansen could catch it, but it was a little bit too low for Jansen to bring in. But, yeah, give 25 credit Morales for shadowing Jansen the entire way.
Big play here for Connor Ackley out of the pistol. 2 wide receivers stacked to the right. They run it up the middle, and I believe it's Walker this time, and he is going to be short of the line to gain. Now, one more time, they will go back to Jovan Gomez, I beg your pardon. And for Gomez, he's going to be marked a yard short. It'll be 4th down and 1 from the 41-yard line of Desert Vista. And if you're Coach Bechtold here in a 24-7 ball game, what do you do here now, Ed?
You got to go for it.
And it looks like they're going to do just that. Do they try to use the hard count, or are they going to just play some power ball right here and use Gomez? Gomez is about 8 yards back. They call on Gomez, and Gomez is really, really close to the line of the game. It's based on the spot. At one point, I thought he had it, and then as the head lineman comes in there, it's going to be all about the spot now, Ed.
It is. I think he's short, though. I think Gomez is short.
Looking for that one on the replay.
Let's run that replay back.
What a great tackle
there.
Here
we go. I think he's short from what I saw.
It's all about the spot. It was Gomez again.
Well, judging by this spot, he's got the first down, Kevin.
Boy, it looked like he did, but they're going to – if that was the defensive play, Devin Grubbs came up there playing a little two-way ball, was the first man there, and he absolutely drilled Jovan Gomez. And they're going to say he didn't get it. They won't even measure. So it was all about the spot. The first official on the far side, he gave him You saw where he lined up. It was past the line to gain, and then when the other head linesman came up to meet him in the middle, they changed positions. And now Desert Vista is going to get the football. 4:10 to go till halftime. It's 24-7. Here comes Jackson Akins back on the field. They give it to Grubb on the sweep, and Grubb is going to somehow stay on his feet and finally get corralled and thrown down to the ground. But credit the defense by the Aztecs to swarm Grubbs, as Grubbs was so athletic and nimble on his feet. He did stay on his feet, and finally it took 4 or 5 defenders down there to get him. One of those guys there on the hustle was Jedediah Maurer.
Maurer, also number 13, Bennett Matzler, one of the defensive backs, came up there to put pressure on Devin Grubbs.
Clock rolling inside 4 here from Thunder Stadium on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. It's Thursday night football here in the Great Valley of the Sun. 24-7. Working left to right are the Thunder from Desert Vista. 4 wide receivers now here for Jackson Akins. Long count. They run it to Grubbs, and Grubbs is going to run with a lot of authority here on the near hash mark there, taking Aztec players on his back. And we get a timeout taken here by Corona del Sol. So the Aztecs believe that they can maybe get the ball back here. Ball spotted on the 41-yard line of Desert Vista. And indeed, it'll be Corona taking the timeout. And we'll step aside, pay a couple of bills. You're watching Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network.
Homegate with Pit Boss. Or don't homegate with Pit Boss. Go long. Long cooks, that is. Or just, you know, don't fumble the barbecue. Homegate with Pit Boss. pitboss-grills.com.
Welcome back to Thunder Stadium on the campus of Desert Vista. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. James Poovey is lurking down there on the sideline. And, of course, our technical producer, the guy bringing you all the cinematography here tonight, is Mr. Jones, Greg Jones, getting it done behind the scenes. 24-7, 3:24 to go. It's Jackson Akins with an empty set. There goes Grubbs in motion. They fake it to him. Akins over the middle of the field. The ball's going to be caught at the 50. Breaking tacklers, and still on his feet at the 40-yard line is the wide receiver, Michael Allison. And he's finally going to be dropped in Aztec territory, but not before he rips off about 22 yards. And a big-time player there is Akins again over the middle, wide open, Michael Allison.
Great job for Akins to see Allison wide open, as you mentioned, Kevin, open there in the middle. Akins saw that pressure coming off his right side, and he was able to get that ball off pretty easily, avoiding that pressure, getting it to Allison. Allison was able to get those yaks, those yards after the catch, right?
Yeah, he's just a little jitterbug out there. He's just moving around. They call those guys twitch guys. Mekhi Hibbler and Michael Allison, they might be in that twitch category. There goes Grubbs in motion, and they fake it to him, and on the zone read, it'll be Akins getting hammered at the point of contact. And once again, it looked like Matt Orthman right there on the tackle. Orthman, a junior, 6'3", 250, with 6 tackles on the season. He had 2 tackles and 2 tackles for a loss in that loss against Red Mountain. He's a dude.
Yeah. But, Kevin, how huge was that for the Thunder to convert on 3rd and long to keep that drive going?
On a 3rd and 13, they convert with a 22-yard gain.
Oh.
That's going to hurt the Aztecs, no doubt about it. So the play clock does not appear to be visible here at Thunder Stadium. From the 37-yard line, low snap to Akins. He fires far side of the field. The ball's going to be caught and run out of bounds around the 25-yard line. Number 80 on the receiving end of that one, Eric Miller. 3rd time tonight he's been targeted. Has a 26-yard reception on this season. For Eric Miller, a junior, 6'1", 175. We've seen him get open running those 9 routes earlier in the game, Ed.
Yeah. If you're an X-receiver, you've got to be able to get open, because that's the belief that Akins and the Thunder have in you. If you're Eric Miller, to have that X position, have that designation to get out there and get open, that's exactly what he did on that play.
Gotta love the line for Desert Vista. When you look along that line, it starts with the big fella, Jai Rodriguez. And they work behind Rodriguez this time, and nothing doing, as the Aztecs were there to answer that particular challenge. And who else getting it done there? Tyron White, Matt Orthman, those guys on that side of the field.
Huge stop for those young men, as this is a critical drive, clearly, for the Aztecs. They do not want to give up another score going into halftime and be down even further.
1:41 to go to the break. Eric Miller's back on the field. Jackson Akins with a new play call here. 2nd and 10 from the 27-yard line of Corona del Sol. Trying to get another score here, leading 24-7 as it is. And now we're going to get another whistle here. And
timeout.
Another timeout taken. Let's see if Ty Wisdom takes this timeout.
Yeah, it was on the Thunder side.
And Desert Vista will take the timeout. You know, Ed, when you're looking at this game, you look at these numbers, inside the numbers before tonight's game, in just the rushing category, Desert Vista, 561, good for 5th in the 6A conference. And for Corona del Sol, they had 535 rushing yards, good for 8th. So just the ground games alone, there's some parity here between these two teams.
Oh, yeah. You talk about the Thunder. They're averaging 281 yards rushing a game, had 303 yards, 4 touchdowns against Mesa. So this is what they do. They run the football, and they run it at a very high level thanks to their high-quality running backs and that strong offensive front they got right there on the offensive line.
Yeah, it's funny because you look at the pass yards in there again, this is where they compare as well. 324 for Corona, 316 for Desert Vista. It's the touchdowns being scored really the primary difference between Desert Vista and their success here at 1-1, and Corona being winless right now. But the schedule certainly have had a lot to do with that. Red Mountain's a very good football team. They're a 3-0. So it's Jackson Akins back to work, 2nd and 10 from the Aztec 27-yard line. Pistol formation now. The deep back is Devin Grubbs. Grubbs gets the carry here. Little jump cut to the left, and he's going to be stood up right there after maybe a yard gain. Again, excellent defense there by Corona del Sol. Orthman was there, and those guys are being very stingy defensively. Also over there was Jalen Walker, but they're starting to put a body count there on Devin Grubbs there, and that's making a difference for this Aztec defense.
It absolutely is. That's what you have to do to front a guy like Devin Grubbs. You've got to throw multiple bodies at him, because if you try to go at him one-on-one, he's so elusive. He's able to break off those one-on-one tackles. You've got to be able to throw multiple bodies and make it hard for him to get any yardage.
Look for Mekhi Hibbler here in the slot. Akins back to throw, and the ball is going to be caught over the middle by Allison. Pinballs around, taken inside the 5-yard line is Michael Allison. Great catch by Michael Allison. Great toughness to hang on to the football as he got belted near the 5-yard line. Unofficially a gain of 22 yards once again. Back-to-back 22-yard plays for Michael Allison on this drive as Jackson Akins has found a new target. 1st and goal to go on the 5. 36 seconds to go. Akins remains in at quarterback. To his right is Grubbs. They run it right. It's Akins, and Akins is going to find his way towards the goal line and score. Touchdown. Jackson Akins breaks the plane of the goal line here at the 24-second mark of quarter number 2, and Desert Vista has forged ahead 31-7, point after try upcoming.
What an incredible drive. What a great drive for Desert Vista. As you close up into the half, you drive down the field, use all of your weapons. That's what Jackson Akins did, drove all the way down the field. It was a methodical drive. They took their time, didn't need to get a quick score, because they knew they would not want to leave the Aztecs with much left to go. They've got 24.9, but great drive to get a score right before the half.
The snap is back, and the point after try is up and through by Noah Perez. 24 seconds to go. Almost 25 seconds to go till halftime from Thunder Stadium at Desert Vista High School. It's Desert Vista 31, Corona del Sol 7, and Ed, just the wacky stat of the week. It has to be about Jackson Akins. Coming into the contest for Akins, 13-29 for 316, a 44% passer for 158 yards. As a ball carrier, as a rusher, Akins, 18 carries for 89 yards. That's right. Akins has more carries than completions heading into tonight's game. That's mind-boggling.
Yeah, I'm sure it's changed right now because he's completed passes to a lot of his different weapons. So that number may have changed that disparity as far as running and passing is concerned for Jackson Akins, but he has led his guys on great scoring drives, including that one to put his team up 24 points right before the half. So that is great for Jackson Akins as he continues to grow in his junior year with the Thunder under head coach Ty Wisdom. Coach Ty Wisdom has got to be so happy and pleased at the progression of his quarterback.
No doubt about it. Some youngsters getting a chance to start and shine here. So Perez comes on to kick. Owen Jansen back at his own 10. And this time they don't want to have anything to do with Peter Katsiris. And this will be like a little pooch, somewhat of an onside attempt with little effort to retrieve the football, more like trying to kill the clock here. Penalty marker across the field on the 40-yard line. The Aztecs trailing 31-7 here, Ed, and you're going to have to go into halftime and make a few adjustments on how you want to slow down this Desert Vista offense, really led by their quarterback, Jackson Akins.
Yeah, good luck with that. If you're the defensive coordinator for the Aztecs, that is something they're going to have to clearly, as you mentioned, go into the halftime. They'll just take it right down here. Now that they got a penalty, that's going to put the Aztecs in good field position. Do you think they'll play for a long one? They're in Thunder territory. You don't think they go deep?
Oh, you got to take a shot.
You got to take at least a couple shots.
With Connor Ackley as your quarterback, with Owen Jansen out there and some playmakers, yeah, you got to take some shots. But you can see that the Ty Wisdom defense, they'll put themselves in what appears to be a little bit of a prevent there, a little soft coverage here. Ackley to the air, ball's thrown outside. It's Jansen, and Jansen does a little stutter step and finally takes the play out of bounds. Smart play there by Owen Jansen, making the catch, getting out of bounds and stopping the clock here. 16.6 to go.
And you saw, Kevin, it's Tavian Dennis, Antonio Pietro Delgado, and Adrian Morales. There were three guys fronting him right there on that play, not letting Jansen get any more yards.
Boy, Tavian Dennis continues to make some plays. A transfer from Cesar Chavez as the stadium continues to rock here. You've got quite a bit of fan base here. Ball will be spotted at the Thunder 42-yard line for Connor Ackley. Jansen lines up to the near side. No safety help over the top just yet that we can see. Long count for Ackley. 5-step drop, rolls to the far side, throws on the run. The ball's caught on the far sideline. Making the catch was Katsiris. For John Bechtold, he's been the head coach since 2017 when he took over for Richard Metlatch. Metlatch had only held the post for just 1 year. Coach Bechtold in his 5th year, and is the 8th head coach in 44 years of football at Tempe's Corona del Sol High School. They began playing the 2A conference back in '78. 43 years ago, Ed. Corona del Sol is tradition-rich, to say the least.
Absolutely. A lot of history there with the Aztecs.
Kevin McCabe School, the dean of sports here in the Valley, McCaber. Ackley has Gomez to his right. It'll be Gomez on the draw. Gomez into the second level. Gomez to the 20, and he's going to get brought down by none other than the Turf Monster. Under 6 seconds to go. Clock will stop as they move the chains here. Ball will be spotted at the 21-yard line.
So here it was, Kevin. Gomez was looking at Gavin Chavez, number 22. They were looking at each other. He shook Chavez. Chavez fell, and that caught Gomez off guard because he saw that Gomez fell down, and that threw him off, and then the Turf Monster caught him. What a hilarious play by Gomez in the field.
You had two players both giving each other the shoulder dance and the swiggle, right? And then the Turf Monster came up and took out Mr. Gomez.
Otherwise,
that was bizarre.
It was bizarre. Otherwise, he would have got more yards out of that run.
Great shot by Jonesy and our pit boss camera crew. Just what a great fan base.
And these are all students here, Kevin. Look at that.
Just packed to the gills here tonight.
We got the freshman section right in front of us, KD.
It looks that way.
Yeah. What a great representation by the kids.
So out of a timeout for Corona del Sol, trailing 31-7. On this special night, we honor the great late Joe McDonald here at Desert Vista High School. Long time principal and leader extraordinaire, Joe McDonald. So with less than 6 seconds to go here, 5.7 to be exact, Connor Ackley is going to have to go to the end zone. Owen Jansen's lined up to the near side. Ackley has Gomez to his right. Shotgun snap is back. Going for the ball in the corner of the end zone. The ball is caught, and he is going to be out of bounds. Well, the individual that ended up with the football for Desert Vista was Mackay Toms, another one of those Mackays.
Actually, Kevin, was that Jeff Lambert?
Well, Lambert was the intended target, but the young man that ended up with the football was Mackay Toms. So I don't even think Lambert made the catch. 3 seconds to go, or 0.3 of a second based on the clock. The clock's had some issues here tonight. The ball will be spotted on the 27-yard line. This would be a 37-yard field goal attempt for the all-region kicker, Karsten Kiefer. Make it 28-yarder. This will be a 38-yard attempt, but Ty Wisdom will elect to take one of his timeouts and do the so-called ice Karsten Kiefer.
How are you going to ice that guy?
He's an all-region performer out of the East Valley region. He's a good kicker. I don't think you're going to ice this young man.
You can't ice an
But
all-region.
in high school, it's about the cerebral approach. Where's the mental capacity right now?
And of course,
by the way, wanted to mention this. The pageantry at the beginning of this football game tonight here on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. Thursday Night Football, the Corona del Sol Marching Band, they brought it tonight in pregame. The pageantry was magnificent. The waving of the flags, the choreography of the entire production, and then the performance of the band was just fantastic.
No question. It was absolutely beautiful. Great job.
All right, back to work for Karsten Kiefer. 38-yard field goal attempt from the right hash. The snap is back. The hold is down. Kiefer swings that right leg through it. The kick is on its way, has plenty of leg, and it's wide left. He missed it wide left. And that's how this first half comes to a close here at Thunder Stadium in Ahwatukee, Arizona. First 24 minutes in the books. It's Desert Vista 31, the Aztecs from Corona del Sol 7. Stay with us for all of our halftime festivities coming up next on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network.
My name is Slade Gibson, owner of Trinity Homes AZ.
My name is Becky Gibson. I'm co-owner and lead designer.
We started Trinity Homes in a leap of faith back in 2004. After working for many other builders, we had decided to go ahead and start our own company so we could really work with the clients and have the same type of values that we do in our family. Our mission here at Trinity Homes AZ is to work side by side with each customer, making their home become their dream.
A common theme with our company is that we are not only building homes, but we're building relationships. And in the end, that's very important to us.
We have over 30 years of experience here at Trinity Homes, all the way from our project managers, our superintendents, our lead design. We can serve each and every client with their specific needs.
Parenting sure is full of mysteries, huh? That's why, at the Little Gym, everything we do is designed to make sure kids are whatever ready. Ready to learn. Ready for takeoff. Ready to rock. Ready to roll. And ready to shake it off and keep going. Our classes are based on lesson plans designed to get kids of all ages moving, boost their brain power, and with an emphasis on social and emotional learning. even improve the people skills they'll need for tomorrow, today. We call it three-dimensional learning. Kids just call it fun. More than a kid's gym, the Little Gym is a springboard for life's adventures. And every day, we're making, energizing, and inspiring whatever-ready kids.
Taylor's Pools. You can trust Taylor to take great care of your pool and ensure your complete satisfaction. From weekly cleanings to one-time cleanings, from pool draining to pool refilling, he does it all. Green to clear transformations, repairs, and new equipment installations. Trust your pool to Taylor's Pools. Call 623-200-2788. That's 623-200-2788. Taylor's Pools, a proud partner of Thursday Night Football.
Let's be honest, the world has changed. Everything is done a little differently now. But what hasn't changed is the time that you spend with us is still amazing. And even though things have been tough, we are here to help you unwind. Sheraton Tucson, showing you that the good times are back. Oh. We can't wait to see
Can you hear me?
So get ready.
Yes.
It's time to check
Is it
in.
clear?
Yes.
Sure?
For now, yes.
Hey,
Eric Amarola, and I
can hear me,
drive
right?
in the NASCAR
Yes.
Cup Series.
Kevin, can
I like
you hear
to
me?
Think of myself as a
Oh my
fun-loving guy.
goodness.
I have a
Focus,
wife.
dude.
Yeah, I can hear you.
and two
Thank you, honey.
Beautiful
Hi, Kat.
children.
Hi,
I've
Kat.
really
That's not your
enjoyed the
intern.
partnership
Catherine.
that
That's my
Catherine.
I've had with Pip Austin,
Catherine.
and that it's,
Not
you know,
your
it's
intern.
still very new and very fresh.
Catherine.
But
I
it
keep
just
calling her wrong
feels
name. It's Katie.
So
Caitlin.
It feels so real.
It sounds
so
clear
just
now.
Easy
Sounds
and
good,
down
right?
to earth, and I just really
Until you go down
enjoy
there.
that.
Make every day game day and never miss a moment from your favorite team with the AZ Preps 365 Live High School Sports app. The official app for all Arizona high school sports teams gives fans instant access to up-to-the-minute scores, news, highlights, and much more. Customize the app to fit your needs, whether you're a student, coach, parent, or player. Download it now for free. Available in both the Google Play Store and Apple App Store.
Don't wait for tomorrow. Make the days count. Gatorade has carbs to fuel and electrolytes to help replenish, so you can count on the proven formula. Nothing beats Gatorade.
Central Band of Desert Vista is Mr. Josh Key. Director of Percussion is Mr. Vicente Lopez. Assistant Director is Mr. Michael Pearl. Assistant Mr. T.R. Chris Casey, Chris Evans, Jeff Whipple, Phil Edwards, Kristen DeGelto, Mark Richardson, Sarah Richardson, Dave Garcia, Andy Blunt, Matt Rose, Justin Rowe, Jasper Wu, Terry Aaron, Anna East Bacaro, Andrew Morton, David Willard, and Brett Bell. Music arrangers are Richard Pasquedo and Michael Quill. Percussion arrangers are Chris Evans and Aaron Morales. Your designer is Rich Rogers. Guard passenger is Keith Casey. The Thunderdome would like to thank our fine administration, faculty, and student body at Desert Vista for their outstanding support. We hope to continue to represent you to the very best of our ability. Today I'm also send a special thanks to our parents, family members, and friends for their great commitment to our efforts. Okay, fans and friends, pull out your ticket stubs. It's time for our 50-50 raffle winner. Tonight's winner will win $180. I'll read the number twice for you. Here we go. The number is 919568. Again, that number is 919568. Congratulations to our winner. If you have the lucky ticket, you can collect the $180 from the Band Booster volunteers in the north end zone. Thank you.
It's a new microphone and it sucks. It's horrible. I'm going to tell T we got to get our old microphone back. No, it's off.
Oh my. In this section?
Sorry. Go guys.
Welcome back to Thunder Stadium out here in Ahwatukee, Arizona. Just a glorious Arizona evening where the Thunder have raced out to a 31-7 lead here on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network on Thursday Night Football. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole, and what a first half it's been for quarterback Jackson Akins as he found Hayden Engel, the tight end, with 2 touchdown receptions. The big fella playing big in the middle there.
Yes, sir. He could be one of our Pit Boss MVPs. One of those 2 young men will be. Come fourth quarter, we'll get that going. But Akins and to Hayden Engel, for, as you mentioned, 2 touchdowns. Devin Grubbs has a touchdown run. Akins has a touchdown run of his own. Noah Perez has a 39-yard field goal. So everything is working right now so far for Desert Vista. So it's all about the adjustments. What kind of adjustments have the Aztecs made at halftime to come out here and hopefully get back into this game as they're down 31-7. They're down 24 points. They've got 24 minutes of football to figure this thing out if they want to come back and get a victory.
Yeah, and you think initially, okay, how are they going to slow down Desert Vista and Akins and company? But it's more like, how are they going to get back in this game with their own identity, their own offense? They've got some skill guys. They're really missing Jonathan Kubat tonight. He was concussed last week against Red Mountain. Another guy that Red Mountain knocks out, and just a tough injury to Kubat because he was really running downhill. 11 carries, 54 yards. He was having a really outstanding not only season, but a great game last week. He's got 200-yard games already, just under 300 yards for Kubat. So they miss him tonight, and it's going to be Connor Ackley. Can he make enough plays? Can he get enough time to make some plays? Because this Desert Vista, their front seven has been knocking on the door all night long.
No question, but Ackley he started to build a relationship with number 80, Peyton Bauer, the tight end. So let's see, maybe he'll continue to build upon that relationship with number 80 and try to get some more completions to him. Let's see if Jovan Gomez gets some more runs. Yeah, missing Kubat really does hurt. A guy that's had almost 300 yards in their 3 games and 3 touchdowns. So he was their number one. He was their featured back before he got concussed. And yeah, it hurts to miss number 4. But next man up theory, Gomez or Jalen Walker, he's got 2 touchdowns on the season. Can he get involved in the offense? Number 7.
Yeah, I think it's all those questions that you ask, Ed, are right on point. What can Connor Ackley do? What kind of chemistry can he find with some other guys? And can Jovan Gomez can he get going and can he find any rhythm and offensive continuity to get some success here? So it's going to be a battle in the second half, but just a great first half by Desert Vista, their play calling. And that's something that Corona del Sol have to do. Get a little more creative here.
After Gomez, that's what it was.
So Ackley to the air this time. Here comes the pressure from the far side. He is about, but you have to like the pass rush there of Gavin Chavez. We just talked about it. Could Connor Ackley get anything going? And it was going to be all predicated to the help up front. And
as you mentioned, they have dialed up the heat, dialed up the pressure on number 10, and they're just busting through that offensive line like it's nothing to get to 10.
2nd and 17 from their own 33-yard line. They need a 50-yard line to move the chains. 3 wide receivers to the wide side of the field. Blitz again from the backside. Good pick up there, and the ball is going to be in and out of the hands of the intended target. He would have been well short of the line to gain, and that looked like it would have been the fullback out of the backfield. He's listed as a wide receiver. That's Dylan Atkerson. And you talk about a wide receiver that is unorthodox in the body type, but that is the listed position. A 5'8", 170-pound junior wideout. Dylan Ackerson just couldn't hold on to that one. He would have been 10 yards shy of the line to gain.
And also give Clark credit for shadowing him right there on that pass play, forcing that incompletion as well.
Ackerson lines up in the slot to the right. Owen Jansen on the numbers to the far side. They want to go to Jansen if they can. Ackley wants to roll that way. He throws down the middle of the field. The ball is caught by Owen Jansen. And they'll mark him down at the 45-yard line. Let's see if they get him the catch or not. And it appears it's going to be a completed. Now they can say it's incomplete. Great effort there by Jansen trying to protect the football with his body and the turf, and unable to collect that ball in. Another incomplete pass for Connor Ackley, and that'll bring up a 4th down here. 4th and 17 now, and back deep here. Arguably, the top player in the first half was Mekhi Hibbler. When I say top player in the first half, he was the guy that was getting out in space. He dropped the touchdown pass. He had I believe, a fumble in the end zone too, but he was certainly electric. Was he not, Eddie Cole?
Yes, he was.
So with 9:33 to go in this third quarter, score remains 31-7. Desert Vista went 0-6 last year. They were 0-3. In fact, they were 0-2 at home. It was the first winless season in the entire program's history. But you got to like Jai Rodriguez. He is a dude. 6'5", 270. Punt is back. And this one is not as good as the first punt, off the side of his foot. It takes an Aztec, taking a thunder bounce, started rolling to the other side of the field, and that is where the Corona del Sol Aztecs will touch it down. They're pleading with the officials about something. I think they think that Desert Vista might have touched the football. But Mekhi Hibbler, instead of running away from the ball, he ran towards the football, which is somewhat unusual.
It is.
I like to stay clear of that oblong football. It's taking all kinds of weird bounces and hops. Our officiant and crew will talk things over on the far 40-yard line. Let's see what they come up with here. You see him? You know who that is?
Who?
That's our guy with the Suns, Mike.
Oh, that's Mike?
Yeah.
The referee?
Yeah.
Okay.
His brother's out there too, I believe. Can't come up with his last name, but he's like one of the official scorers for the Phoenix Suns. It's definitely, his name is Mike. Good guy. buddy. He's a buddy. I'll call him a buddy. They go to Perez, working behind the center, working behind that right guard this time was Perez. Those guys up front. Oh, excuse me. Mr. Gomez, Joven Gomez. Beg your pardon there to the Gomez household. Joven, the starter tonight. A touchdown, the only touchdown of the game last week for Corona against Red Mountain. Has an interception and 14 tackles through 3 games does Mr. Joven Gomez. Ball is loose again, another fumble, and it looks like the Thunder are going to recover this one at the 45-yard line. They continue to fight for the loose ball, but this time coming away with it is none other than Gavin Chavez. Have a night, Gavin Chavez. So 22 has rocked his way up into the upper echelon here of the pit boss player of the game. What a strip there. Great job from behind the play by 85, Levi Hunsaker. He's the one that got in there in the backfield. Disruptive as all get out was Levi Hunsaker. And then he got the strip, and it was Chavez with the fumble recovery. What a play there, Eddie Cole.
It was for 85 to get in there and knock that ball away and give the Thunder another drive.
In another short field, working from the 45-yard line of Corona del Sol. It's Akins with Grubbs to his right. There goes Mackay in motion. They give it to Mackay around the corner at the 40. Down the sideline, and is going to be knocked out of bounds there as he is none too pleased with the extracurricular tackling there provided by Kevon Thomas. And that's one thing that the Aztecs are just trying to show Desert Vista that we're not going anywhere. We're going to play football, and we're going to continue to pepper you guys. Even though you're pushing us back, we're going to play ball.
They're going to have to do that. But what a nightmarish start in the second half for the Aztecs. Was it not, Kevin? That was the drive that they had to have. They had to drive down there and get some kind of score, whether it's 3 points or 7 points. You're down 24 points. You had to have that drive to start the third quarter.
Akins rolls to the outside, pass complete to J. Ray Tucker. And for Tucker, not a lot of progress that time. Interesting design and play concept there, but trying to get it out to the lead ball carrier that time. And to no avail, nothing doing there for J. Ray. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 3 from the Aztec 38-yard line. And racing back on the field is Mackay Butler, 5'11", 170. We'll go back to Mackay Hibbler in this case. Hibbler, the senior wideout, 4 catches for 109 yards and a couple of touchdowns last week in that win over Mesa. Now we get another stop and play here. A real sluggish, choppy start to this second half here in Ahwatukee. We will take a quick break. 7:48 to go in this contest. On Thursday Night Football, you are watching the Epic Sports Broadcast Network.
Why do people everywhere love My Style checking?
It has rewards you'll flip for.
I love my travel rebates!
With My Style, the spotlight's always on me.
We can send money with Zelle. Good boy.
For me, it's instant issue debit card.
Find out why people everywhere love My Style checking from Mountain America at macu.com.
Which means we've been on the entire time. Welcome back. I'd like to special thank you to our technical producer, our executive producer, Mr. Greg Jones tonight. Special thank you to Kat Jones, one of our cinematographers, as well as Caitlin Jones. Over the middle, the ball is going to be caught, and racing it in and scoring a touchdown for Desert Vista is Michael Allison. His 3rd reception in the ball game. This one goes 38 yards for the touchdown from Jackson Akins, his 3rd touchdown pass of this contest. It's now 37-7, point after try upcoming here for Desert Vista.
On the replay, let's see what happened here. So Akins gets the snap, he rolls out, he takes a shot, but he finds a wide open Michael Allison, and he completes that pass right there for the catch. and the touchdown.
Working a little tip drill and was able to get it and corral it and take it in and house it. Touchdown was good. Point after try by Noah Perez is right through the uprights. 38-7 our new score with 7:38 to go. You look at Akins, had some time. There was some pressure. He definitely took a shot.
Yeah, he took a shot.
As he let the football go, and then great concentration by Michael Allison, who was all by himself once again. 38 yards to the end zone, the difference. And the point after try once again by Noah Perez. Noah Perez has shown the leg. He's missed a field goal tonight, but he's been pretty impressive with that right leg of his.
Impressive he was, and impressive Akins was, knowing that number 7, Jalen Walker, was going to give him a pop, and pop him he did, but he was able to get that ball off just before Walker was able to hit him, and Allison was wide open right there. He caught that ball right there. As I mentioned, he got tripped up right there, but he still was able to get into the end zone for the score.
Ed, you and I were talking to Ty Wisdom early before the game, and we were talking about his coaching staff, and boy, he's got a good one. Arabin Justin, who used to be the front man for North Canyon and also coached with Ty Wisdom over there at Horizon. Jason Love, another guy that we talked to before the ball game, does a great job. He attended the University of Nebraska. That's the connection between Ty Wisdom and Jason Love. Those guys were boys back in Nebraska as Jason Love spent some time at Kearney. And then Ace Justin, but also go back to Derek Kennard, a one-time Desert Vista alum. Derek Kennard played in the league on Sundays. And then also very impressed to see Kyle Vanden Bosch, Arizona Cardinals broadcaster, is on this staff. So what a great who's who of staff for Ty Wisdom. They pooch it again near sideline, and Desert Vista is just swarming the football right now. You talk about a team that's, you know, the proverbial sensing the blood in the water here. You can feel it here at Thunder Stadium here in Ahwatukee.
Yes, sir. You're up 31 points, and you got a big score right there. Of course, the defense is now going to be able to pin their ears back even more. We like to use that term a lot when your team's up 31 or more, and you know your defense can take a lot more liberties. Another word we like to use. But in talking to Coach Wisdom, Kevin, he was all about talking about his coaching staff. About he wanted a group of guys that would be able to motivate him and help him grow as a head coach. He didn't want it to be all about him as the head coach of Desert Vista. It was all about his coaching staff, and he wanted to elevate his guys and let them grow, and in turn he would grow from the growth that they would have, and it would all work together as a family. And so far it's working really well tonight.
It is. Sean Morin, another guy in that staff of the all-star staff there, as they run the football here with a little quick hitter there. We got some students popping up, and we're unable to see that. It turned into what they call a challenging situation here. As you can, the stands here are rocking here right now. We're moving.
Gomez thought he still had some more ability to run. That's why he just kept running. He was trying to run all the way through the whistle.
Yeah, he didn't think he was tackled. Instead, Ackley and him exchange a comment, and then coming onto the field behind him is Jalen Walker. 38-7 with 7 minutes to go in this third quarter on Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole and James Poovey. James down there on the sideline. Ackley with an empty set. Ackley's going to run the football this time. Tries to find some room up the middle, and he's running on the hash marks there. And again, not a lot of real estate there because Desert Vista's defense is just so strong. And the big guy in the middle there, Levi Hunsaker, was making things difficult, clogging up those running lanes.
Him, also Fisher Hawks, number 34, one of the defensive ends, was also in there, along with Tavian Dennis. See the thing we're talking about, Kevin? It's multiple guys coming at these running backs.
Yeah, they're swarming to the football, no doubt about it. Big play here. First down for Ackley as the Grasshoppers fly into our head here up top. Ackley's pass is a little bit too tall for the intended target on the far side. He wanted Katsiris. Katsiris made his name in this football game with a 95-yard kickoff return. One of the finer plays for that young man on his young career, and of course for John Bechtold. Coach Bechtold used to coach at Greenway for a short time. In fact, for John Bechtold, he named his starting quarterback for the Demons. His starting quarterback was Tyler Duncan, a guy that we know over there at Arizona Christian University.
We know him oh so well.
Of the home of the NAIA's Firestorm, 22nd in the country in the NAIA Division I college football. A good brand of football under Jeff Bowen, a longtime coach. 40-plus years for JB in the industry. Ackley back to throw. Here comes a blitz. He passes it off to Jansen. Jansen makes the catch and then gets spiked to the ground. up there making a defensive play, and a rough one at that was Christian Clark. So C-squared picked up Jansen and just literally drove him into the turf.
That is textbook tackling, right, Kevin?
It was a pretty good form tackle.
Very good tackle. As we look here on the replay, Christian Clark, right here, he makes that play, just wraps him up right down low, and just takes him right down to the turf.
That is textbook, and if you're
perfect.
If you're going to teach that, Ed, you'd say, Mr. Clark, come on in and show us how to do it. And that was, like you said.
Yeah, he'll show you a thing or two.
That was tremendous. 3rd down and 10 for their own 40-yard line. Here comes the pressure. The blitz is picked up. And now we get a penalty marker as Ackley makes the pass down the field as he gets sandwiched, gets absolutely munched in the backfield. And the pass falls incomplete once again. Clock will stop with 5:23 to go. It's still 38-7 Desert Vista. And just think about some of the amazing players that have come through this campus, Lee Williams being one of those guys. From 05 to 08, played at the ASU. But just guys that have come through here. Brent Miller, one of those guys. Cody Sokol, another one of those outstanding players. Cody Sokol spent some time trying to catch on with the Kansas City Chiefs. Just a lot of history here. But it was really history that was laid down by John Rattay and, of course, Dan Hines. First time the program picked up a state championship was back in 2011. Danny Hines won that. They defeated Hamilton. In fact, for Desert Vista, they defeated the Hamilton Huskies behind Steve Bellis. Dan Hines' football team won in 2011, 45-19. You talk about a statement for Dan Hines and Desert Vista. I believe they have one other championship as well. I want to say somewhere in the 80s they won another ring. 1998 maybe it was. Yeah, 1998. For Desert Vista, 2011 Division I state champs. 010 a 5A state semifinalists. 08 state runner-up. 98 champions and a whole bunch of region titles. Ackley going for the deep ball, wants Katsiris, and the ball is incomplete. Nice coverage there in double coverage. Christian Clark was back there in the defensive area, along with, looked like Nicholas Thiesler. And how about that? You see Clark up there to make a play at the line of scrimmage. Now you see him back in the secondary. You talk about some versatility. That's a nice job of covering a lot of territory for 28 Christian Clark.
28 and number 39 Makai Toms was also in there on that coverage. So great job by the Thunder to double cover the wide receiver, which would have been Katsiris.
I could very well have given Makai Toms credit to Nicholas Thiesler, and I think I did. It was 38 or 39, whatever it takes, right? That goes back to the movie Mr. Mom. Was it a 38 or 39? I killed her with a 38. 38 or 39? Whatever it takes. Mr. Mom, Michael Keaton, way back in the day. Terry Garr, I think. It is a funny one, though.
Oh, yeah.
That one?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Mom. Who hasn't seen Mr. Mom? Our technical producer, Greg Jones, has never seen Mr. Mom, from what we understand. But we'll work through that. Good ball game on hand here. 38-7 with 4:13 to go in this third stanza.
Have you not seen it, Jonesy? Okay.
Sometimes you make stuff up in a 38-7 ball game. Just having some fun. We'll get you some scores around the National League West here momentarily. Ackley to the air again, and the ball's incomplete. He was looking for Peyton Bauer down the seam, and he missed that one. Just for fun, I want to pass along one final around the National League West. In extra innings from Colorado, Los Angeles defeated the Rockies 7-5. And, Ed, what else happened in the West?
I was going to ask you what happened in San Diego. Do you know what happened at Petco Park?
From what I understand, the Padres prevailed at home and they beat the Giants, which now means the National League West lead is only one for San Francisco.
Is that right?
Imagine that.
How about that?
And they're saying the hottest team in the National League is the St. Louis Cardinals.
12 in a row.
12 straight.
Yeah.
My goodness.
They're hot.
So Ackley on that fourth down misfire will turn it over on downs here for Desert Vista. They'll put the ball back in the hands of Jackson Akins. And Akins will take the shotgun snap, and they'll run it on a sweep to Devin Grubbs. Grubbs trying to get to the edge, and he's going to do it, and he's going to get driven out of bounds. A strong tackle by my guy, Jeff Lambert. James Poovey and I were talking last week on the Red Mountain broadcast about Jeff Lambert. And just when you think of the name Lambert, where do you go?
Jack Lambert.
You go to Jack Lambert.
Of course.
It's a no-brainer.
Yes.
So this young man, Jeff Lambert, plays like Jack in some areas, some cases. He's just good. He's strong-nosed, and he can swarm the football.
That is a huge compliment if you equate him with the great Jack Lambert.
Well, we're just saying it's just some similarities.
Yeah, similarities.
A few. Jack was a Hall of Famer. Difficult to discern a high school football player, a senior, into that category. Akins is going to run it 45, and he'll be tripped up there. Making the tackle from behind the play on a little ole right there for the Aztecs. And I get to tell you, for the first time tonight, that was 14, and there was no 14 on our roster here. Unfortunately, what a play. Let's double check. Just in case. Yeah, 14 is out there. He made the play. He was credited with the tackle on Connor Ackley. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. 3:23 to go, third quarter, 38-7, Thunder rolling. Akins, the give to Grubbs. Grubbs past the initial line of scrimmage, continues to fight forward, and they'll just fall forward inside the 40-yard line, but Lambert over there again, also out of that secondary position, was Bennett Matzler, but Ed, Corona del Sol, their defense showing no quit. They continue to make it difficult for Grubbs to gain positive yardage.
Yeah, and they've got a few players who may vie for that Pit Boss game MVP that we'll talk about in the fourth quarter. Just a little bit of a preview, folks. We'll get you to get on Twitter and vote for your players that will be possibly the Pit Boss game MVP. But there's a couple players on the Aztecs defensive side that could be the winner of that.
Yeah, well, Gavin Chavez might have something to say about that for Desert Vista. And you couldn't rule out Hayden Engel. Also, and Jackson Akins with 3 touchdown passes here in this ball game has certainly played the part here. It's one of those awards, it's a tough one. You want to give it to 5 or 6 people, but you can only give it to one.
Mm-hmm.
Or do they give co-winners out here?
Nope, only goes to one.
Just how much does Pit Boss dole out on an event like this? On the awards, the accolades.
How much, Jonesy?
The accolades.
Oh, they give a grill.
Oh,
Okay.
grill. It's all Pit Boss. Yeah.
I'll take a grill.
Now we're talking, right?
Absolutely.
You talk about searing a fine selected cut piece of beef or chicken.
It's unbeatable.
The right temperatures, the heating elements, the ability to slow cook. Oh,
outstanding.
Man. Pit Boss is the way to go. And on a zone read, it'll be Akins on the keeper. Nobody home this time. Again, there was a bunch of guys there to defend it. Tyron White was all over the play, along with All-Region second-team performer Evan Lenz. I think Evan Lenz is the one wearing 54 down there instead of Keona Pete. I think Pete's wearing another number.
It does say 50. They both have number 54 in the roster, so it could be Lenz.
Yeah, I believe that's Lenz.
It just might be him, yes.
Mackay Hubler, make it Mackay Hibbler. Hibbler. Mackay Hibbler lines up to the far side. And for Akins, he'll put the play in right there at the line of scrimmage. And now somebody's going to take a timeout. Ty Wisdom will walk onto the field and have a conversation with his quarterback. And I think the Thunder will take the timeout. We'll step aside as well. You're watching Thursday Night Football on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Thunder Stadium out here in Ahwatukee, Arizona. The Toque, they call it. We are just below South Mountain, on the south side of South Mountain, and what a scene it is up there to our right, but what a great setting it is here at Desert Vista High School. 38-7 our score, out of a timeout for Ty Wisdom. 3 wide receivers now in. It's Hibbler to the near side. Akins back to throw. The ball's intercepted. It's picked off by the Aztecs. Making the interception for Corona del Sol was Evan Lenz. Evan Lenz, 6 foot, 200-pound senior, gets the pick there as he steps in front of that throw from Jackson Akins, and the Aztecs get a much-needed turnover.
Give props to this defense. They're continuing to play even though they're down 31 points. Evan Lenz gets right there. He sees where Akins is trying to throw the ball, and he just jumps up, jumps in front of that passing lane, intercepts that ball. As we take a look at it again. Wow, what a great adjustment from his body to – he was almost on the ground. He got up and saw where Akins was trying to go. Great play by Lenz to get that interception, giving the Aztecs another shot offensively.
Very good play. Looked like Lawrence Guy out of ASU, longtime NFLer, making that play. That was just fantastic. The athleticism. Ackley gets the shotgun snap from the pocket. Now he's going to be forced out of the pocket. He throws on the run, and the ball is going to be incomplete. He was trying to hit the receiver on the far sidelines, Alex Vesey. Providing the coverage for Desert Vista was Adrian Morales, 5'9", 140, a sophomore. A lot of youth on this Ty Wisdom football team for Desert Vista. Coach Wisdom said, hey, I was just going through the process. I was trying to find out what Desert Vista was all about, and I was trying to find out what Horizon was all about and how much that I want to stay at Horizon and what that whole landscape would look like at Desert Vista. Well, sometimes you just have to knock on the door, make a phone call, just check into things. Ty Wisdom did that, and lo and behold, he's the head coach here. What an opportunity for him, and he likes the opportunity about what the future can hold for a program like this in this location in Ahwatukee. Ball's thrown outside, and the pass is complete. Making the catch was Katsaris, and he was driven out of bounds or driven down to the turf immediately. Back-to-back tackles there for Adrian Morales. Morales with a defensive play in the play prior, and now a tackle there for Adrian Morales.
A few plays ago, we talked about how Christian Clark had textbook tackling. That was textbook tackling right there by Morales to wrap up Katsaris and make that tackle.
Outstanding defense. They break the huddle and to the near side will be Katsaris. In the slot to the left of Connor Ackley is Owen Jansen. There goes the back Gomez in motion. Here comes the blitz. Ackley delivers the football, and he got rocked from behind, and he's slow to get up. Applying the pressure up front, coming in a hurry for the Thunder was Antonio Petrio Delgado. Petrio Delgado, the middle linebacker, 6 foot 205, was coming in a hurry, and he forced that early throw, and it was a nice ball there by the Aztecs. Connor Ackley hitting Peyton Bauer over the middle there. Short of the line to gain, but it'll be a 4th down and 4 as maybe Corona del Sol will let the final 12 seconds of this third quarter wind off the Longines scoreboard, and that is indeed what they're going to do. So we have played 3 quarters of football here in Ahwatukee from Thunder Stadium on the campus of Desert Vista High School. Going to the 4th and final quarter, the Thunder 38, the Aztecs 7. You're watching the Epic Sports Broadcast Network, Thursday Night Football edition.
What up, Pit Boss Nation? I am Patrick Peterson. I am a father of 2. I am married, play professional football, very fun, outgoing guy. My daughter loved for me to cook ribs and steak. Me, honestly, I like the vertical because I'm able to put more things in there. I can get some ribs in there, I can get a pork butt in there, I can get some chicken in there. You know, I love everything about my vertical, man. How you can just adjust the temperature at ease, how the pellet is easy. Just a very, very cool grill.
Searching for meaning in a relentless world, always connected, but somehow alone, trapped by illusion. We offer another path, where the battle to belong begins. Awakened by a calling, united by the cause you fight for. No one can take away what it means to be among the few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back to Thunder Stadium here at Desert Vista High School. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. They just told me that the Diamondbacks have renewed Torey Lovello for another year, and I just quickly looked down at the standings here. Just a quick peek here. Arizona is 50 games back in the National League West. What is going on? Ken Kendrick just, and I like Torey as an individual. You can't tell me that is worthy of an extension. Wow, 50 games back of the National League West. Boy, those Giants are good, aren't they? Holy smokes.
Yes, they are.
Ackley back to work. 4th and 4. Possession play now here as the Aztecs try to get things going here, working left to right. Ackley out of the gun, looking left, has time, throws left, and the ball is incomplete. He wanted Owen Jansen. It was Gavin Chavez again, draped all over him. Great coverage by Chavez, and boy, I tell you what, you just have to credit the Thunder defense for showing up right there.
Absolutely. That was Chavez covering on Jansen, one of those one-on-one plays, and he got good protection. Ackerley did. That was just even better coverage by number 22 on number 11.
Well, for Corona del Sol, you can certainly make a case that last week against Red Mountain, they played a superior football team to them. And here again in this 0-3 chase, they're taking on Desert Vista, and it appears that Desert Vista is just that much stronger than Corona del Sol. And have a little fun going back to the idea of Ty Wisdom icing the kicker. Can that even happen? Yeah, that can happen. And there's Scrubs getting loose at the 50-yard line. Cut it back inside the 45. Still on his feet, rumbling into Aztec territory. Down around the 35-yard line was Devin Grubbs. And we asked, could head coach Ty Wisdom ice the kicker for Corona del Sol? You saw that 38-yard attempt just before the half. It was Karsten Kiefer having an extra couple of minutes to think about it, and sure enough, he missed it wide left. So yes, the answer to the question is high school kickers can be iced, and Coach Wisdom did just that.
Yeah, you can ice an all-section kicker.
Right there for Grubbs. Unofficially a 31-yard rumble right there. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. They run it out to Grubbs again, and Grubbs with a little head of steam running downhill now inside the 30 to the 25-yard line there. A little quick hitter there from Akins to Devin Grubbs. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to vote for the Pit Boss Grills Game MVP. We're up on Twitter on Epic Sports Network. Just go to the Twitter at Epic Sports AZ and vote. We've got quarterback Jackson Atkins from Desert Vista, tight end Hayden Engel from Desert Vista, wide receiver Peter Katsiris for Corona del Sol, and Taryn White, the defensive lineman for Corona del Sol. So you've got 4 young men to vote for. The voting is up again. Go to at epicsportsaz.com. Go ahead and throw your votes in there for your vote for the game MVP, and we'll continue this on until maybe mid-4th quarter, and we'll go ahead and keep that updated for you.
You know what? I'm voting for Gavin Chavez. So there you go.
Okay.
I don't think he's one of the candidates.
No, he's not on there. We only have 4.
So I have to stick to one of my candidates.
Yep.
Outside of my candidates, I'm going with Gavin Chavez. And then give me the 4 again, please.
Jackson Akins, Hayden Engel, Peter Katsiris, and Taryn White.
Yeah, I'll go Jackson
I'm going
Akins with that particular
I'm going
group.
Akins, yes.
3 touchdown passes for Jackson, and now he's on the run. Jackson Akins past the line of scrimmage. Into the secondary goes Jackson Akins, and let's hold the phone here. It looks like one of the big fellas, Jai Rodriguez, is cramping up down on the field here for Desert Vista. A 6'8 Central Region honorable mention player, and for Jai Rodriguez, first team long snapper. Make it all region second team in the East Valley region.
Yeah, Rodriguez is a huge part of the success for Desert Vista.
And let's just make sure that we get this correct here. For Jai Rodriguez, he's a 6A Central honorable mention player, and he's also an all-region second teamer in the 6A Central.
In other words, he is that dude, right?
He is a dude. Yeah, he's a dude. I do want to say that Hayden Engel has been really good as well. A couple of touchdown receptions for him. Great execution on the play calls.
Good to see Rodriguez up. He can't put any pressure on his right leg as he's hopping off to the sidelines as the training staff will take a look at him. At least he's hopping off on his own power.
Dan Hines, the longtime legendary head coach here, and he's the honorary coach for tonight's game. Dan Hines, 120-79 in his tenure at Desert Vista. 13 playoff appearances for Dan Hines. One of the good guys in high school football, no doubt about it. Akins again going to work here. And he'll just shovel it out to Grubbs behind the blockers to the boundary, stutter step, cut it back inside, and finally he'll be tackled as a host of Aztecs tacklers got there to take out the legs of the fast-moving Devin Grubbs as Grubbs starting to run downhill in this 4th quarter. And now we talked about Corona del Sol and how they played competitively throughout the ball game, they're starting to run out of gas now.
It's hard when your defense is on the field all this time, and Grubbs and Akins and all of his weapons, they continue to just pound you play after play after play. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you, KD.
Yeah, it is. The toll it will take. There goes angle of motion. They pitch it out to Grubbs. Grubbs makes a move, stiffs arm the tackle to the edge. Penalty marker comes into the boundary, and he'll take on another tackle, fall towards the 3-yard line as the penalty marker comes in right around the 15-yard line. 2 flags right next to each other, and Jackson Akins backpedaling just a little bit, anticipating this call here upcoming, perhaps going against Desert Vista. 9:57 to go in the contest from Thunder Stadium. It's 38-7. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole.
Yeah, it's a holding call on DV, so they're bringing it back.
Been a great crowd here tonight here in Ahwatukee. Of course, Corona del Sol traveled pretty well here, just less than 8 miles up the road here. And Desert Vista with a tremendous school spirit here. Their fan base came out and thinking the school numbers maybe in excess of 2,500, almost 3,000 athletes, students. It's a tremendous talent pool to work with. Akins has 4 wide receivers, 2 to the wide side. Akins being pressured. He escapes the pressure. Now he's going to run with the football. Lost his footing and falls towards the 25-yard line. Let's hope he's okay, and he is okay as he's helped up there by a couple of good sports from Corona del Sol. But Akins evaded that pass rush there, a little bit of a delayed blitz from the Aztecs. They couldn't get to Akins, showing you more athleticism and the word that we like to say at least once a broadcast, at elusivity.
Elusivity. He got away from number 62, Matt Orthman, a defensive lineman, and their number one tackler, number 47, Nathier Cormier Ward. So they were giving him pressure. Atkins rolled out to his right, and he was able to evade that pressure.
That's what we need to see. Nathan Cormier Ward get involved in this ball game with 9 minutes to go. Of course, we'll look at the stats tomorrow. It'll say he had 12 tackles, and we didn't call his name once, but that's always a funky setup there when it comes to the statistics. They go to Grubbs, starting right, cut it back inside, then bounce it out, and pick up positive yardage. There is Devin Grubbs. And Grubbs, he'll change the direction quite a bit on his runs. He's not your true prototypical downhill type runner, but he likes to move around and bob and weave quite a bit. And I believe in other games it gets him chances to be in space.
It does. Of course, every running back looks to get more yards, right?
Right.
And that's the way that Devin Grubbs looks. He gets that first hole, then he sees another gap. Maybe I can sidestep this defensive tackle or this linebacker and get more yards, or I can shake this cornerback and get even more yards. He's always looking for that extra step on a defense.
Here comes Akins, option left, pitch it to Grubbs, make a cutback, cut inside again, and stay on his feet and score a touchdown. Nice bit of running right there by Devin Grubbs. He's got a 2-point conversion tonight. Now he's got a 17-yard touchdown run to add to his resume in tonight's football game. In fact, for Devin Grubbs, give him his second touchdown of the night with a 2-point conversion. And for Devin Grubbs, he now has 10 touchdowns here through 3 games here for Desert Vista, and he's having himself a whale of a contest and a whale of a season.
You talk about a young man that just produces. Every time he touches the ball, he is a threat to do what he just did, score a touchdown. What a great night that Grubbs has had. As Kevin mentioned, all the scoring he's done and what he's done from a special team standpoint. Special young man, number 1.
Nice run on that pitch to the left, and then making a move inside, bouncing it out, cutting it back inside again, and then with the finish. And I don't think the Aztecs wanted to have anything to do with Devin Grubbs on those last 5 yards as he was trying to finish off the play. Let's go back to our pit boss player of the game. And, boy, I don't think Devin Grubbs is on that particular list.
Boy, I wish we could put a 5th person on there. But, folks, again, go to @EpicSportsAZ on Twitter and vote for your choice for the Pit Boss Grill's game MVP of tonight. We have quarterback Jackson Atkins from Desert Vista, tight end Hayden Engel from Desert Vista, Corona del Sol's wide receiver Peter Katsiris, and Taryn White, the defensive lineman for Corona del Sol.
Boy, I tell you what, I've been big on Gavin Chavez in this game, but now Devin Grubbs has come on with a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, I wish we could put a 5th or 6th person on there.
Yeah, but I mean, if the people are watching this game as closely as we believe they very well could be.
And they
just
should be.
Completely entrenched and are just locked in. They're zoned in on this broadcast and the Thunder performance. What a picture that you're seeing right there. Just incredible cinematography there out of our group here at the Epic Sports Network. And on the return for the Aztecs was James Miller. One of those other alums here, besides Alante Battle.
Alante Battle, yeah.
Was Brent Miller.
Well, that's the name, Alante Battle. Oh,
outstanding. 45-7 our score here. The Aztecs offense coming back onto the field. But Jackson Akins has had a hand in 3 touchdowns, and he's managed the game very well. He's made some throws down the field. He's made a couple of checks, but he's done a nice job, and he's been a dual threat as well.
He has. He's played the game really well. Hasn't made very few mistakes. Played a really smart game of football at the quarterback position, and that's really all you want from Ty Wisdom's quarterback.
And let's face it, it's all about who's watching the game and who's voting, who's going to dictate who wins that award, despite what we may think up here. Again, tremendous cinematography here from Cat Jones up top, getting it done tonight, presenting the pictures here from Thunder Stadium in Desert Vista High School here in Ahwatukee. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. Ed,
great job, Miss Cat.
What were you saying about the Diamondbacks and being 50 games out?
50 games out, but at least they beat the National League East leading Atlanta Braves today. They beat them 8-6. So
congratulations to Torey Lavello. That should be worth an extension right there. You know, I like Torey. I really do. I think he would be better served to manage or to be a coach in another system. I know he wants to prove everybody wrong and get it done in Arizona, but it's just not going to happen in the near future. Jalen Walker gets tackled from behind there, knifing through there and getting a stick on Walker was Hayden Engel, among others. There were 2 guys there that got it done for Desert Vista. And we say it a lot. How low will you go on that interior? And right there, it was Engel there out of a linebacker spot. Came in there. Nice job there to take out Jalen Walker, who's been seldom used here in this one. You'd think that Walker might have a few more chances with Kubat injured, but it's really been all about Jovan Gomez tonight. Thunder up to the line of scrimmage. They show blitz, and here they come. And Ackley is going to evade one rusher, and then he can't evade the second one. So Ackley goes down. He is sacked. And in the middle of all that, it looked like 33, Jaden Humphrey, the linebacker, 5'11", 155, got to the quarterback, and Ty Wisdom is still calling these guys to make some big plays.
Kevin, number 25, Adrian Morales, was the first one to get to him right there.
Yeah.
He got that pressure, accurately turned and got away from Morales, but he did not see Jaden Humphrey come from his blind side. And by the time he turned around, number 33 was all over him.
Boy, they showed the blitz, but it was a corner blitz, and Morales did a great job of getting to the quarterback. If you're a cornerback, you love that call. You absolutely love the call. Another punt here, and making the fair catch behind the play here was Mekhi Hibbler. So Hibbler does the smart thing there. He looks up into that night sky and hauls this one in.
Well, Kevin,
what's the numbers look like?
We got an interesting development here. So the final results just ended. So with 45% of the vote, wide receiver Peter Katsiris is our Pit Boss Grill's game MVP.
Is that right?
Yes. Jackson Atkins got 27%, Taryn White got 19%, and Hayden Engel got 9%. Katsiris.
That's why
off the 95-yarder.
Right, and that's why I suggested it's not about what we believe it's going to happen here. It's going to be about who's voting and who's watching, listening, and voting at the same time. And it looks like Mr. Katsiris will be the winner of tonight's Pit Boss Grill game MVP. A pitch to the left again. This time rolling with the football is Christian Clark. He's still on his feet, crosses midfield into Aztec territory, and he's finally going to be brought down. Another strong run by Christian Clark, as it doesn't matter who's running the football, whether it be Devin Grubbs or Christian Clark or the quarterback Jackson Akins. Desert Vista has dual threat capability in their backfield, and they're just running downhill and running people over.
Yeah, they've got so much talent there on offense that Jackson Atkins has at his disposal. It's just whoever you want to run in there, whoever you want to toss in there, whoever Atkins wants to throw the ball to. Their offensive line is strong, allowing Atkins to continue to do his thing. Jackson Akins. I'm sorry, Jackson. Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry, Jackson. You kept telling me that, Kevin. Akins.
Long A.
Yeah, long A. Okay. So sorry, Jackson.
5:26 to go from Thunder Stadium. If things hold up, we'll take it down to the field with James Poovey here upon completion of tonight's game. Running up the middle again, right on the near hash marks was Christian Clark, and he falls forward again. Another powerful run. And if you're Ty Wisdom, yes, let's call off the dogs initially with Devin Grubbs. If my defense is going to go out there, I'll still blitz the heck out of you here in the fourth quarter, up by 45-7. But I'm going to take Grubbs out now, and deservedly so.
And that shows the depth that Desert Vista has at the running back position. You can throw in Christian Clark. You can throw in Isaac Acedo for Jackson Akins to hand off to.
Blake Bell will check in at one wide receiver position. Behind him is Nicholas Lyons. A couple of changes for Ty Wisdom's group. And now Akins will give way as well. They run it up the middle, and running hard at the numbers was Christian Clark. And the new quarterback here for Desert Vista is Landon Powell. Landon Powell also serves as the punter. 6'3", 215. He's the senior. It's the junior Jackson Akins getting the majority of the work, the lion's share, as they say, Ed. 4:29 to go, 45-7 Desert Vista. There's no question who's going to win it tonight. They're going to improve to 2-1, and John Bechtold's club is going to fall to 0-4. This is a run by the quarterback. This is Landon Powell as he breaks a couple of tackles and rumbles down the middle of the field. So Landon Powell with a carry and a first down. So Desert Vista will set up inside the red zone. Ball will be put down on the 11-yard line for Landon Powell.
Boy, the talent pool for this offense for Desert Vista is like never ending, right?
Yeah, they're deep.
They're very deep.
They run it up the middle again, and trying to get into the end zone was Christian Clark. Did he get there? They put him up? Yes, they did. Touchdown, Christian Clark. 11-yard run right up the middle, breaking a tackle at the 5, breaking another one at the 3, and then lunging into the end zone and scoring a touchdown was CC, Christian Clark. 5'11", $185. That's touchdown number 2 for Christian Clark here on this season. It's now 51-7 with the point after try upcoming here.
Jackson Akins comes out. Landon Powell comes back in. You put in Christian Clark. You put in so many different guys you substitute, but the strength level and the production level never drops off for Desert Vista as they get a score right there.
They've got some depth, Ed. Snap down. The kick is on its way, and it's up and through. Noah Perez once again gets it done. 3:14 to go in a running clock. Our new score, Desert Vista 52. And the Aztecs from Corona del Sol 7. Congratulations to our pit boss game MVP here for tonight's game will be the wide receiver Peter Katsiris, a 95-yard kickoff return. He did it with 45% of the vote. Other guys that made it interesting was Jackson Akins, of course, at 27%, and then Tyron White, 19%. Hayden Enkel of Desert Vista with 2 touchdown receptions, just 9% of the vote. But that's the indicator. Who was voting tonight? And it was the Aztec fans voting here. And what an opportunity, and what a nice little accolade here. And oh, by the way, Peter Katsiris, the game MVP, but no quit for Johnny Bechtold's Aztecs tonight, even though they were manhandled and that the Thunder proved to be just much better football team. And you talk about the depth and the guys behind 1s and the 2s, guys 3s and 4s are coming out here making contributions. That's what you want if you're head coach Ty Wisdom.
Absolutely, Kevin. There's no drop-off. No matter who you put in there, no matter 2nd, 3rd, 4th, it can be 15th level of offense or defense. They continue to play at a very high level, and that's what Coach Ty Wisdom and the rest of his coaching staff gets his guys ready for. But, yes, give the Aztecs credit. Even though they're down 45 points right now, there's no quit in John Bechtold's team, and they'll go back to the drawing board. They'll watch this film and get ready for their next opponent.
Yeah, when you look back at this battle between these two schools, back in 1997 was the first ever game between Desert Vista and Corona del Sol, as the Aztecs out on the return here. For Corona, I believe that was Nathan Cormier Ward on the return. The all-time historical battle between Desert Vista and Corona del Sol favors Desert Vista 17-6. So this is the 24th meeting between these two schools. And what's impressive for me about Desert Vista is the 17 postseasons all time in the program's history. That is remarkable. Coach Hines was the front man from 2002 to 2020. 18 years, 13 postseasons with a state championship. That's Danny Hines. And running the football off the right side this time was Joven Gomez. Nice run for Gomez, maybe one of his better runs of the night as he carves off 6 yards out of that third group of defenders for Desert Vista. A buck 14 to go on this one. It's 52-7. No question about who's going to win the ball game. But what a program here at Desert Vista High School. And Ty Wisdom has inherited and taken over a tradition-rich program. Again, only the third coach in the school's history. That's esteemed for me and my money, Ed. They go to Ackley to the outside. And Ackley continues to put a little zip on it. Katsiris makes the catch, adding to his MVP ledger here in this one, Ed. But when you look at the opportunity to become the third ever coach in one program's history with a tradition like they have here at Desert Vista, that's esteemed, that is honorable, and that's quite a hire.
It is. It really is. But it always takes time when a new head coach, when a head coach goes to a different program and he's trying to implement his system and get his young men to buy into it. Always takes time.
Gomez on the sweep, and not a lot there for Gomez. He got to the 50, and that was about it. It looked like for Desert Vista, it was Levi Hunsaker over there. Hunsaker, 6'2", 215, just a sophomore. And that very well might be the final play of the ball game. 6 seconds to go, 5 seconds. That's going to do it here from Thunder Stadium, where the Thunder improved to 2-1 on the campaign with a 52-7 triumph over the Aztecs from Corona del Sol, and they win the crosstown rivalry with the school that's just a few miles up the road here. But a fantastic football game, well-coached victory for Desert Vista, and they just put a little polish on the second half here as they took out Corona del Sol 52-7, Ed.
They did. What more can you say from Jackson Akins and what he was able to do? All of his weapons he was able to get to, and himself. He got a score himself. He had a touchdown run, but he gets a touchdown to Michael Allison. Devin Grubbs gets two touchdown runs. Christian Clark gets a touchdown run in the fourth quarter. Akins throws 2 touchdowns to Hayden Engel, their tight end. Noah Perez kicks a 39-yard field goal. Oh, and by the way, their defense only holds Corona del Sol to 7 points in 48 minutes of football.
Yeah, that was fantastic. In the 24th meeting between Desert Vista and Corona del Sol, it was the Thunder winning it 52-7. They now lead the all-time rivalry 18-6. Ty Wisdom's team now is 2-1, and for John Bechtold's squad, they fall to 0-4. But you've got to be pleased with the competitive fire, the competitive nature of the Aztecs. They showed no quit for 4 quarters,
and you know they wouldn't. And we were talking to Coach Bechtold on the field before the game. They just had that feeling that this was a team that was going to play hard for the entire 4 quarters of football and let the chips fall where they may.
If we have a chance, we're going to take it down to James Poovey. We're waiting for things to get established as Mr. Poovey will try to grab Ty Wisdom and have a quick conversation with him as you see the tradition here for Desert Vista over to the sidelines, showing you their tradition here.
Kevin, the word for me is just dominance. What the Thunder were able to do from the beginning until the end. Of course, it was tough sledding for both teams in their initial drives in the first quarter. They both turned the ball over, but after that, Desert Vista got their thing together offensively. Jackson Akins and his guys really got in tune. They got into a rhythm, and then after that, they were unstoppable.
Yeah, and I'll take it the perspective from the other side of the coin. I thought a guy like Gavin Chavez played very, very well. He was a good player. Early on, it was Tavian Dennis out there making some big-time plays.
Yep.
And it just seemed like even Levi Hunsaker made some nice plays for this football team. Desert Vista really from top to bottom, 1 through 55, they just got it done tonight. And they overmatched Corona del Sol, who really took a beating in that 28-7 loss to Red Mountain last week. And they came in here recharged on a short week for them, so maybe a tough turnaround in the grand scheme of things. But Desert Vista, just too much all night long.
Yeah, it was just a dominant performance in all phases of the football game. But Akins leads his team.
How about Hayden Engel? The the linebacker tight end with 2 touchdown receptions.
Played well on both sides of the ball,
Yeah.
not just offensively.
And the deception, the play calling, the misdirection, the unique of the quality of plays that got the tight end involved there, Hayden Engel. I think he answered the bell with his opportunities as well. And then just up and down the roster for Desert Vista, they all made big-time plays here. Even Riley McDevitt, we called his name a couple of times. He had some plays there, but just a sound victory here for the Thunder. See if we can't get Mr. Poovey with Ty Wisdom down there. We're waiting for word here.
Yeah, they just broke their huddle. Let's see if he can get Coach Wisdom on.
If we have a chance here, we're going to send it down to James Poovey on the field with a conversation with Ty Wisdom. And we'll do just that. James?
All right, I'm here with victorious head coach Ty Wisdom of the Desert Vista Thunder. Coach, congratulations on the victory. You rode your quarterback Jackson Akins all the way to victory tonight. Your defense played really well. Talk about the performance of your football team here this evening.
Yeah, I thought the defense flew around and played great all night, keeping them out of the end zone. Offensively, we started hot, had adversity happen early, driving 89 yards and fumble in the back of the end zone. But, the kids kept their composure, kept grinding and executed. And we talked about all week, playing confident, playing fast. They did tonight.
Your mantra for this football team is all gas, no brakes. You guys had that on display all night here. What was the message to your team at halftime to keep that momentum going into the second half?
Well, I was disappointed with a few things that happened in the first half, and it was a play away from being a football game again in that first half, and I knew that. In a rivalry game like that, you're one play away from it being a 2-score game, and anything can happen. So just keeping the hammer down, doing the little things, doing your job, the little details that got us where we got.
Congratulations on the victory, Coach. Go celebrate with your team. Appreciate it. Have a good evening. Desert Vista gets the win here tonight at home in their first home game of the season against Corona del Sol by the score of 52-7. Back up the top to you guys, Kevin and Ed.
Thank you, James, and thank you to Ty Wisdom. And certainly you like what Ty said right there. He said, really, it was just about keeping the pedal to the metal. Right, and or is it the metal to the pedal?
Pedal to the metal, you're right.
But, he talked about no brakes, all gas. I like that. I really like that. And they did that tonight. That's why they were blitzing in the fourth quarter, and they were still throwing the football. So it was all that. It was just impressive.
What you want to do is continue to be relentless. That's exactly what Coach Wisdom and his guys did. They 48 minutes of basketball, 48 minutes of football. But yeah, just a great victory for Desert Vista to get their first home victory in their home opener under Coach Wisdom.
Fantastic for Coach Ty Wisdom. He wins the inaugural game in front of a really, really jam-packed facility here at Thunder Stadium. Corona del Sol, they too in this rivalry game, they made a nice appearance as well. But for the Aztecs, it's their MVP of the game, the pit boss MVP of tonight's game on the Epic Sports Broadcast Network. It was Peter Katsiris, that 95-yard kick return. He had a couple other targets as well, maybe 2 or 3 other receptions, but he was the MVP for the Aztecs. And really, it was Ty Wisdom and his entire staff that came out here well prepared, well coached, and his team bought into the game plan. They executed, and they finished with a very impressive win here at home, and they're now 2-1, and the Aztecs will fall to 0-4. So with that being said, for our outstanding broadcast crew, for James Poovey, for Kat Jones, for Caitlin Jones, for our cinematographer and our technical producer, Mr. Greg Jones, and one other guy, our roaming photographer. We have another gentleman out there, Ed?
Joey Mascaro.
For everybody. And for my guy, Ed Cole, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Until next time, so long for now. Our final score from Thunder Stadium, will the Thunder win it 52-7. Good night.